Right. We're live and we're back with the friends. This is Total War campaign for an update on why the thumbnail is the way it is. It is simply because, you can see in the description, there was a bit of file corruption shenanigans, so we had to roll back a couple turns, but it has resulted in a pretty interesting outcome where we are now holding Altdorf again. And the plan is to never lose Altdorf again and to expand from the center of the map outwards. For this battle, it's going to be Franz. He's on his way trying to finish off Gelt, so his survival is paramount here so that he can complete that mission. Other than that, nothing really too complicated going on. It's going to be the same idea as usual, desperately trying to survive, playing some fun battles, and hopefully getting a little bit of expansion by the end of the stream. So with that out of the way, hello. Yep, it's a New Year stream. For some people, it's actually already the New Year, if I'm correct. But for me, it's going to be another 12 hours before the New Year's hits, and the stream probably won't go for too long, just so that I can go ahead and celebrate the New Year's myself. But nice. I see we have Isolated Sushi in chat. Hello. So we got Based Witch Hunter saying, apparently, does Games Workshop do a lot of retconning? I don't know exactly to what extent they do retconning, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was there. But yeah, so it's just going to be a nice casual stream today. I just felt like getting a couple turns in for this campaign. And hopefully Franz doesn't get annihilated by the Wood Elves today. But if you want to celebrate the New Year's with me, that one's going to be pretty difficult, I will say. You'll have to, if you leave a comment on the turn of the New Year and I'm not asleep, then that should work totally fine. But yeah, if it does pop up in my notifications, then I will respond. As usually, at the end of the day, I'm just chilling on YouTube anyways, looking at comments and such, so I might be around, I might not be, but that's the best way to get in contact with me. Now, for this battle, these organ guns, I almost called them Hellblasters, are going to be a bit of a problem. Specifically because they grind down my knights so quickly. My knights are already down to half of their models. But the infantry is going to be less of a problem. My infantry thankfully didn't take too much damage from the organ guns too. So that's a fairly good position for me. As long as I can actually shut them down, then my artillery should be able to clean up the rest. And I guess I'll have them focusing down the iron breakers, specifically because of their shields, which block my handgunner fire quite effectively. So I want to make sure that I'm hitting them as much as I possibly can. No vlogging plans? Well, not yet. Man, an Enticity vlog would be something. Imagine if I just hard shifted into full-on vlogging. I have no idea how that would turn out exactly, but probably no vlogging anytime soon. Now, all right. We have our knights. They are engaged. Looks like they're doing quite fine for themselves. And gunners are going to turn so that they can support the center fight just a tiny bit better. And with my knights, I should be able to shut down the range units, which are usually pretty annoying against an army like this. But in this case, it's going to be quite a bit easier. As for the steam tank, it's going to very nearly die, but just barely keep it together with a little bit of healing. Almost left that to die for a second there, but thankfully I got that at the last moment. And as for all of these dwarf units, let's see, there are still quite a few of them, but I think as soon as I get the steam tank in action and get some crossfire with my handgunners, I should be just fine. I just have to be careful not to get friendly fire on my troops, which we already had a little bit of, but as soon as I back up a tiny bit, they should be in much better shape. Ah yes, vlogging and VTubing. Oh my gosh. Does anyone in chat actually watch VTubers? I've heard of them, but I've never actually seen them live before. Is it just the same as as streaming, except you have like an avatar. Like, it's not too crazy if that's sort of what's being done, although it's definitely very different from what I'm used to. I'm used to the more, you know, the classic sort of streaming style where you have, well, you know, where you don't have an avatar, but I got nothing against them. It's just different, I will say. Don't really know what to say. Had to Google VTube. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's interesting, I will say. Probably not my cup of tea, but I've never actually explored the world of VTubers before. So who knows? Maybe it's amazing. It's sort of like yeah, no one dares admit it. It's sort of like ASMR, where, you know, it's a thing that exists. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just different, is all. But anyways, you know, to each their own. It's not like it affects anyone else. But yeah, it's what the kids these days are doing, though. I assume if I had a younger audience, most people you guys would know more, but like most of you guys are at least, you know, 5 years older than me, you know, plus or minus. They're like, you know, 0 to 20 years older than me on average. So your knowledge is probably as good as mine. So part of the plan today too, by the way, I'm going to be attacking Talean. I want to really give them a hard time, since the Southern Realms took a good amount of damage from, from Heinz and his rampage down here. So they are much less of a threat now. And instead, I can focus on shutting down the main Talean lands, you know, hit up Skaven Blight maybe, and make sure that they don't send armies my way ever again. So starting off though, we're going to need to take out Gelt. How old am I? I am roughly, well, actually I just turned 25, so that's your general range for my age. How do you lose the corner of the map? In the description, it explains everything that went on. Essentially, the save game got corrupted, so we lost like a couple sessions worth of progress, but to be honest, progress swings wildly in this campaign, so it's not like that was a terrible loss or anything. Yep, save got mega corrupted. It was real bad corruption. There was like, it seemed like probably no way of retrieving it either. It's brutal, but such is the way of things. All right. Anyways, I'm just playing this battle so I don't have to recruit another unit of spearmen, is all. I also get a bit of time to upgrade my, or to heal my steam tank, that is. So that's going to be quite nice for it. We're going to turn our Hellblasters so that they don't obliterate my front line like usual. And then this battle should be army losses in a second. All right, sweet. Nice, and Franz took out the hero faster than I could even notice. All right, there we go. And I'm going to sack and occupy this because we don't plan on holding any territory down here. Yeah, it's part of CA's sort of marketing plan. They really want to boost those corruption mechanics. So in Warhammer 3, if you reach 100% chaos corruption, your game file actually just deletes itself. You know, they told me not to spoil it, but there it is. You still have the save. Can you upload it to Google Drive or something? You want to see if it's salvageable. I could upload it to a Google Drive. I don't know if I have sort of the time bandwidth to do it, but if I do remember, I might as well just throw it up there for anyone that's interested. I would presume it is salvageable, but we're sort of so far into this campaign that I feel like it's fine even if we don't get it. And speaking of this campaign, this is the current position. We have Altdorf, 5 Hellstorm rocket batteries, which is basically everything we need. We have, let's see, I think I had a 3rd army somewhere. Yeah, over here. Over in Gelt's territory, Heinz, holding the fort, doing quite well for himself. And then we have Franz all the way here to the south, heading towards Miragliano and Sartosa. He's going to be capturing these 3 settlements, maybe sacking Skaven Blight while he's down here. Overall, pretty good time. In fact, France might even go further down and conquer the lands here in the desert. It seems like the climate's pretty good there. So if I could manage to hold it, this would actually get me a lot of money, especially here where Ark in the Black starts. This would be a really nice place to defend as long as you don't aggro all the guys in the corner of the map. So potential option for Franz. Alternatively, he could double back and head back north. But I sort of like the idea of trying to push further south. Anyways, it's something to figure out later. For now, we have some battles to fight. Yeah, the war wagons got annihilated, sadly. They did their best, but sadly that was not enough. Oh, right. Now, for this army, we have Heinz's Free Company Militia again. 45 speed, quite fast. They're going to be pushing those Hellblaster... Hellstorm rocket batteries. I guess I have some cavalry too, Mournfang cavalry. So this battle should be okay, I believe. Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing goes terribly wrong here. In best case scenario, I managed to steal one of those Hellstorm rocket batteries, but that's no guarantee. I think it's only a 10% chance. Yeah, the AI... They do have a lot of Hellstorms, but that's actually, not terrible for me to deal with. As long as I have units of cavalry, I should be fine. It's not too much of a threat, honestly. So let's go ahead and draw some lines. Let's see my range units over here. Just gonna chill in the back. Then we're gonna put the Free Company Militia on one of the flanks. Alright, let's see if we can do this without getting obliterated. Kind of have the feeling that this entire campaign is waiting for other factions to die out. It's less waiting for other factions to die out and more marching to finish them off myself. At least that's what I hope I'm doing in my mind. Since overall I've been putting a pretty nice hurt on a lot of the factions. I was able to take out the greenskins earlier too, before the save file got corrupted. So I feel like we can replicate some magic over here. And then once it's down to only a few factions left, then things should be a lot more straightforward, I believe. So that's gonna be the plan. Alright, but we still have a bunch of battles to win. Specifically, Gelt is the main priority target right now. The Bretonnians need to be crippled one way or another, and that's going to take a hot second before we can actually properly achieve that. The Bretonnians, their armies are really scary because of all of the, Grail Knights and Grail Guardians that they can field. So I have to be really careful that I don't get massacred by them. But as long as I manage to, survive for a while, if I do end up only facing the Bretonnians, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alright, I was a bit late on the Soulfire and bombardments there, but whatever. Alright, so Hellstorm rocket batteries are down. Let's move this guy so that there's no friendly fire. Alright, sweet. And then I think this last burning head should be able to clear things up. Alright. Let's see. Looks like the AI is still holding out for a bit, but there we go. Now, because this army has Hellstorm rocket batteries, I'm going to finish off one to try and steal it. And then I'm going to leave one alive so that after they retreat, I might have another opportunity to steal it. I don't know if this is the optimal way to steal artillery, but I'm going to try it. It should work as long as my theory holds true. Curious how many factions I've destroyed? Like a decent-ish amount. What? There's factions that I've damaged to the point of essentially being destroyed. But then they ended up getting finished off by other factions. Like, for example, the Skaven, we quarreled with them for a bit, took out a few of their armies, but then Chaos took them out. Vlad's faction, eventually, I think he got confederated. Which I guess isn't exactly us killing him. The Greenskins was one that we definitely took out properly, but like I said, in a previous world. So who knows? Maybe I didn't actually take out that many factions. I didn't personally walk up and finish them off, but I like to think I played a part at the very least. Just at least give me that. All right. So this should be a 0, nice, very few losses fight. Did we get a Hellstorm rocket battery though? Very important. We did not. Darn it. All right, but that's fine. Heinz can go ahead and just do the rest of the cleanup over here. We could even get another steam tank, which would be really nice. But this army doesn't really need a steam tank, and they are extremely expensive. So perhaps I'll just stick with a unit of Free Company Militia. I'll also have to figure out exactly what I want to do here. We could take Fort Seoul, but we would lose this settlement. It is only tier 1, so it's not like it's that important, actually. So maybe we do just take Fort Seoul. Although I do want to take out these armies too at some point. Let's deal with these guys first. No point waiting to rip off the band-aid. Alright, this one's gonna be a little bit tougher. Of course, we have the Bright Wizard, so we should be okay. Stats. I showed the stats in the last stream, but I'll do a quick scroll for anyone who's interested. Feel like it'd be easier to confederate the Empire than destroy it. When you're at war with them, it lowers all of, like, you know, your relationship numbers with the Empire. So overall, it feels like... It seems like it's actually impossible to confederate the Empire. I could be wrong on that front, but as I sort of see it, I don't think it's going to be possible to get them on my side. So the plan is simply to annihilate, as is the usual for anything you cannot become allies with. Alright, so let's go ahead and draw some more lines. Alright, here we go. So we're attacking, which means that Bright Wizard has a perfect lineup over here. Pretty nice Burning Head. Ooh, really straight Burning Head. That was a very good one. Hit some great swords. Doesn't do a lot of damage to them, but that's okay. Alright, nice. You know what you need to defeat Bretonnia? War wagons. Yes. Rocky Balboa with the infinite war wagon suggestions. I think war wagons are actually against Bretonnia. It's gonna be all right. The thing is, we're gonna face a lot of armies other than Bretonnia, which makes things very difficult. They're also quite terrible when it comes to siege battles, as we saw earlier. But I'd be willing to give them another go once we've cleared out a few of these other armies first. Alright. There we go. Let's get those buffs going. And then I can advance with my army now. To end the battle, never mind. My heroes managed to win it by themselves. Perfectly fine with me. Which means we can move on to the next battle. They were in March stance, so they're completely finished off. What a diverse and clearly not emergency recruited army. Wow, with shots fired by Boo Bradley. Look, it's a, you know, we got... Okay, yeah, I guess the tier 1 units really, you know, the tier 1 units and the RORs really do scream that. But it's fine, you know. We have a pyromancer. He's basically... He's gonna be keeping things together for the most part. Him and my two heroes, really. Just a team. Alright. Marius Kalb. I would like to fight him, but I think Fort Seoul is a little bit more important here, because if I can take Fort Seoul, it means Gelt is off the map towards the south, and then I can focus on pushing upwards from there. So that's going to be the plan. We're going to take Fort Seoul, and then work our way northwards, because there's not really much else to hold there. Orion's going to show up too and take it over, so it's not even really worth defending right now. Although I will garrison there simply to get a little bit of replenishment. I don't think Orion is that close just yet, so I think we'll be all right. Alright, so same idea as before, except this time I'm going to get my front line engaged a little bit faster so that we don't have to wait for army losses to kick in as long. Alright, here we go. Hey, Hussian, I think is how I say your name. Hello. Happy to have you on stream. We're just over here trying to do our best to survive against the onslaught of Empire forces that continuously moving towards us. Let's see, let's move up with those infantry troops. Heal up the wizard. Alright. And then I think we're good. I should get my cavalry in here too. There's a lot to micro when you're trying to play through these battles quickly. Alright, Free Company Militia though, gonna be great for chasing those guys off. Accidentally, what the? They have a Pyromancer? My goodness, I didn't even realize. We'll want to finish him off. Don't want to get our guys toasted. And then it should be army losses. Alright. I'll definitely want to chase down that Pyromancer before he becomes an issue. And we can fireball down their lord so that he can get a bit of money. Actually, no, he's a bit too tanky. We'll just end the battle like that. The Empire forts are all the same. Same goes for the Ulthuan forts. Yes, indeed. At Enticity, are you winning on this timeline? I think we are winning currently. We might not be winning as hard as we left off before the corruption, but I think we're about to get to basically the same situation. As long as the dwarves and the greenskins are constantly fighting each other, we should be alright. In theory. Now, I'm going to go for the replenishment since we are going into a bit of a riskier situation with this army. I don't want them to, you know, get obliterated here. Let's see, 1 second. There we go. Yeah, so I don't want my army to get obliterated and cut out. So I'm just going to move and get that replenishment to help them out a bit. This is going to delete the fort garrison, which makes my life a little bit easier. And we can finally retake it. As long as the greenskins don't, you know, siege and attack this city over 1 turn, we'll be fine. Alright, so that's Fort Seoul once again in my hands. I won't even bother upgrading it just yet. I might as well save the growth for when I take it over again. And then we can move over here where the Tomb Kings are. Now their armies are pretty beat up actually. They're even split up. So that's actually not a problem in the slightest. I should be able to win quite easily. Hey, Mr. Phoenix, I believe is how I say that. Happy to have you here. Hello and welcome.
To battle.
Time to rename. Is that Altdorf? Pffeldorf? I don't know. I've never actually said that out loud before. But we're not planning to lose Altdorf. So I think we'll be fine on that front. The Tomb Kings are not especially threatening. So the question is, can I attack the Tomb Kings and defend Nuln at the same time? I think probably not. So I might just leave Altdorf on its own for 1 turn to make sure I can actually defend Nuln. As much as it hurts me to leave Altdorf, this feels like the better decision. Looks like another migration scenario. Wow, no faith. Come on, this is a good situation. Has no one tuned into the stream before? This is great. Look at this. We have Altdorf at tier 4. We have huge garrisons. I think everything's just dandy over here. We're gonna upgrade Grunberg. Where did my growth go? What the? The upgrade option was there a second ago, right? Am I going crazy? Maybe I am. But nevertheless, let's get that garrison going. Let's see. Nuln is being held. Doing all right. So I think that's most of my movement now. But I might as well assault some units while I'm here. Pffeldorf. All right, there you go. So I think I did say it right the first time. Let's see, what else do we got here? We can reduce some movement speed. Let's slow down Gelt again. I'm just gonna constantly annoy him with heroes, as we do have fairly high level heroes, just sort of wandering around.
Sigma.
They'll be able to help me in case of a big emergency. But right now it seems like things are fairly stable. Okay, on to the next turn. Abandoning Altdorf. Do you not remember your promise last stream? Exactly, yeah, we're not abandoning Altdorf. It's never gonna fall, guys. Absolutely impossible. It'll be fine. Am I planning to take the next 2 forts in the future? Yep, indeed. And we're gonna lose Grunberg right after we invest money into it. That's a misplay, but whatever. Fort Seoul is getting attacked. Thankfully, it is a fort. So we do have a pretty large army over here. Should be pretty winnable, I think. Of course, there's some bone giants, but nothing we can't handle at the gate. But yeah, the promise that I made last stream, guys, is that Altdorf is never going to be left undefended ever again. It'll never be at risk of being lost. Yep. I done gone said it. It'll be fine. Is Altdorf tier 5 yet? Not yet. It's tier 4, and we have been away from it for so long that it hasn't really been able to level up. But we'll get there eventually. All right, now for this siege defense, we're gonna, just put these sort of weaker troops scattered around just to hold the walls, as they're much less important. And then for actually holding the line, I have my cavalry. They're gonna blob in case I need the mass. And of course, a ton of range units. So these guys are just going to face inwards and shoot at anything that gets through those gates. These huntsmen too, they can shoot over the walls and get a bit of damage in. And as for my archers, yeah, they're gonna hold that position too. I'll put my spears over here also, and then the infantry that tries to sneak by, in theory, will have a pretty hard time. But the Hellstorm rocket battery, the ROR, Sunmaker, I'll need to decide exactly how I want to fire with that. I guess on the wall is a fine enough position, but let's just be very careful not to friendly fire anything. But alright, overall, a pretty decent position. I just gotta really make sure that the infantry doesn't become too much of an issue. And I gotta dodge with my Bright Wizard because he's getting focus fired by those bone giants. They are relentless. Oh, and if we're not careful, they're gonna be landing hits. So just gonna slow down the game speed a tiny bit to make things easier on that front. And let's see, I don't trust myself to get a burning head without it bouncing off the wall here. So I'm just going to use the piercing bolts instead. Hey, Torn Kite saying, hey Enticity, which is your least favorite faction? And why dwarves? You say that, but you don't know that dwarves were the first faction that I played in Warhammer. So they do hold a pretty special place in my heart, actually. Yeah, overall dwarves are fine. In fact, they're quite weak in multiplayer. So, honestly, I feel like they could even get a buff. But for like my least favorite faction, actually probably the Tomb Kings in terms of actually playing them. The Tomb Kings, I don't know, they don't really they don't tickle my fancy much. I have nothing against the Tomb Kings, but I would say they're pretty clearly my least favorite faction. I have no idea why exactly though. All right. But here we go. They've busted through the gates. That means it's time to use my prayers to really boost up that my defenses over there. I could throw another bombardment down over here on all of the infantry, but I don't think that's really needed just yet. We're just gonna continue holding with my heroes while my range units get their shots in. Seems like they're holding pretty well over there, so I'm not particularly worried. The goal is full map dominance, Nostalgiac. Yeah, we wanna capture everything. I think it's possible, and I don't think it's too hard of a task. So that's gonna be the plan, but call me crazy. I think it's perfectly possible, and we have slowly been working our way towards that goal over the course of the campaign. But I do want to get it done before Warhammer 3 comes out, as you might expect, since yeah, once Warhammer 3 comes out, we're definitely going to be grinding that instead of playing this campaign. So we are a little bit on a timer, but not an especially aggressive one. All right, here we go. Let's keep throwing down the buffs. We have a new Shopti summon on my ogres. I just really need to hit up those halberds and I'll be fine though. Cavalry can swoop on in. They'll do just great. And then with the Lord now in the fight, I think I can just right-click focus fire him and then we'll be okay. Also have to check the back to make sure that there's no infantry trying to slip in. I'll also have to pull away with my ogres since I left them in the fight for a little bit too long, but it looks like they managed to live, so that's very nice. All right, so only a little bit sketchy there, but I wasn't really on the verge of losing that fight, thankfully. So sweet. Oh, and the Bone Giant gets one last shot at my Bright Wizard. All right. Heroic victory too, look at that. Is your Warhammer 3 release period going to be focused more on campaign or multiplayer? I think it's probably going to be focused mostly on campaigns, with multiplayer being a thing I focus on the side, Alex. Even though I very much do enjoy multiplayer, I'm still trying to find a format that works on this channel. But on Twitch, I'll definitely be grinding multiplayer. Like, I want to be pretty proficient with all of the factions going into that. At Enticity, are you going to get early access to Warhammer 3? Presumably, you can see on the what's it? The sort of the CA membership program, or not membership program, but also WoW Gorst with the tiny army that are sacking the city. But yeah, the CA membership program, they do let you get early access, but I don't think they've given a specific date yet. So that's all I can say. Strategically tanking damage with the artillery. What do you mean by that? What do you mean strategically tanking damage? Are you talking about my Bright Wizard accidentally taking tons of hits from the Bone Giants? If that's what you're talking about, then yes, totally. Will Warhammer 3 release with multiplayer? I don't think CA has said anything about multiplayer yet, so I have no idea. In fact, honestly, when it comes to sort of questions about Warhammer 3, chat probably knows more than me, honestly. So you guys can probably just go ahead and explain things. I'm no, like, you know, big time partner for CA, so no secrets over here. All right, let's see. So we got France. We have another army over here. Thankfully, it's quite small. Let's see. I guess we'll start with France. We'll see what damage we can get done with them. Low casualties, but we still lose the unit of spearmen. That's unfortunate. Goodbye, spearmen. You served well, but not well enough.
Step to it.
The artillery piece on that fight was quite damaged, but it turned out to be part of the garrison. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. We're not doing any Game of Thrones action here, just sacrificing artillery. I guess that's technically a spoiler, but I think it's been long enough since Game of Thrones where I can say that. Let's see now. I'll just pick up another unit of spears for the army. They're sort of just there to pad out, just in case. We got Heinz over here. He can take Altdorf again, and then bounce over here to take out Gelt's settlements. I think there's a Skaven army over here too. Let's see. Skaven corruption. Yeah, there are Skaven over here. So they're sort of on my hit list. But first things first, we have a bunch of armies to fight with this guy. All right, I would like to keep those ogres, so we're gonna fight this battle. We're gonna have a few battles to fight with this guy. Cavalry tend to take a lot of damage in the auto resolve, sadly. Three Kingdoms got 150k Twitch viewers on release. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. You hope they fix... Oh yeah, desyncs for co-op campaigns. Oh, by the way, speaking of co-op campaigns, I have one arranged with Human Boy later on. He is he's also in the multiplayer community. So it should be a pretty fun challenge. So if you guys are interested in seeing sort of high-level multiplayer in a head-to-head campaign, you guys should stay tuned for next Sunday. So I think that's on the 9th. Yeah, on the 9th is when we plan to do that. So yeah, should be very exciting. I think in our talk so far, the plan is for me to play Sartosa against Ikit, which is going to be something. We're gonna get nuked, but it should be very fun. Yes, it is. It is going to be head-to-head, so not co-op. Gonna be really exciting. I'm quite excited to see how it turns out. It's very close quarters because we're basically like one province away from each other with Aranessa and Ikit. So the fighting's gonna get early real fast. I don't know how the matchup is actually gonna play out between Skaven and the Vampire Coast. Like early on, if both armies are sort of just relying heavily on their chaff, yeah, I'm not sure who actually comes out on top in that situation, but that's something that we'll see once we actually play that campaign. Ikit way stronger than Sartosa. Yeah, but you know, it's fine. I feel like I got enough shenanigans in my pocket where I can give it a decent fight here. Alright, there we go. So we got Heinz. He's doing great. He's tanking it up over there. I just need to worry about this cavalry flank a little bit. But if I push over on the left-hand side, I think if I can get those archers to retreat and then hit them with the burning head, I should be fine. Although there is a lot of infantry, so let's go ahead and pull back again. Alright. I'm liking this blob over here, though. We can't really afford to hit them with the magic just yet. But what I can do is start positioning my forces like so to shoot down all of the infantry that are here. I can also use my Bright Wizard to support this fight against the cavalry. Cavalry takes more damage from Burning Head if they are grouped up. As you can see, it actually does do quite a bit of damage there. Cavalry is going to be routing, and that means that the rest of the Greenskin forces should be easy to just rout off. Really nice thing about these Demogryph Knights too, they terror rout units. So that makes everything a lot easier to actually rout off. So sweet. I think we managed to win this one with pretty minimal losses overall. Unless something just goes terribly wrong in the next few seconds, I think we'll be alright. Yeah, Ikit is, at the start, he's going to be pretty restricted to just basic troops. He needs sort of those mid-game units to do well. As for Vampire Coast, they get their late game units pretty early because of the undead recruitment mechanic. So I feel like it's gonna be pretty fun. There's gonna be a bit of sort of back and forth going on there on whether or not I can finish them off early on or if they head on into the late game. But I think Vampire Coast have the advantage early on. So that should give a pretty nice dynamic, I would say. Alright. So I think we're on the verge of army losses now for the Greenskins. We'll hit them with one more Burning Head. And there we go, just like that, army losses. Nice. We still have a few more armies to beat with this guy though, but Bright Wizard things are gonna be saving us. You finished quite a few campaigns on very hard and cannot for the life of you get a good start with Karl Franz in the Empire. I will say, if you've looked at the VODs, the strategy where you just blitz it to Nuln and get a steam tank early on is pretty good. Because then immediately after you bounce over to Skarsnik, you run him over, and then like what enemies do you really have after that, right? So like, you know, you blitz it to Nuln, then you bounce over here to Skarsnik, you take him out, And then you secure the rest of your territory with your, with your army that has a steam tank now. You can take Marienburg if you really want to. And then from there, it's just diplomacy. Build diplomacy with the Bretonnians, you build diplomacy with your Empire friends, and then push towards vampire counts. Should be pretty straightforward overall. Oh wait, this better actually be low casualties. Thank goodness. But yeah, head-to-head's gonna be nice. This rebellion should be pretty easy to beat too. Good, good. And then Altdorf will be mine. Man, Heinz is doing some good work over here. Just the complete cleanup of all of these guys. Let's see. I could auto-resolve and lose the spears. What I'm worried about is that I'd lose the rest of my army if I did that. But it says low. Do I trust it? I think I do. Is there a way I can save those spears? It doesn't look like it. It's fine though, we'll recruit more. And we'll go for the loot and occupy for that replenishment. And then pick up another unit of spears. Why not? Hello, streamer. Have you done your daily dab yet? See, I feel like my target audience is just not in it for the dabs. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, maybe it's just me. Who knows? But we'll need some really extravagant situations to actually go to that level, I think. Yeah, head-to-head is a PvP campaign. It's actually a fairly common request that you see from people, and pretty uncommon format overall. Most people don't really play it because it's so hard to manage schedules in a way that makes it work. But overall, it's a pretty fun format. Alright, so that was a pretty straightforward fight, just the auto-resolve. Straight up auto-resolve. You can go over here. And nice, another auto-resolve. It's the Hellstorm rocket batteries that are really carrying here. And then after that, if I can hit up Kemperbad, then that should secure the eastern side of things. Gonna double check to make sure there's no Gelt over here. Thankfully there isn't. So to Kemperbad we go. Ah, and it was a good call too. Alright, and we're gonna play this one out, because if I lightning strike, this army will be, it won't be taking a ton of damage here. And I do want to finish them off, if possible. Or I could lightning strike and then try and hit them up. Let's see if that works. Please don't dab. Thank you, Isolated Sushi. Saving my butt. Why not get Gelt Spears since you just got the Elector count? I do have Gelt Spears, I just don't feel like picking them up just yet. Oh boy, we are out of movement range. That is a minor problem, because it means we can't defend Grunberg. Alright, minor misplay, unfortunately. But we can figure something out here. Let's see, how do we want to deal with this? I guess we're just sitting here awkwardly. Hopefully we're near enough the bridge where we get a good map over there. But that's about it. It's not the greatest. As for this army from Gelt, at least we can slow him down and beat him up a bit. He should be, yeah, he's really beat up. He's going for the war wagons too, so that's gonna be a pretty fun fight. But it seems like this turn, overall, pretty good expansion in general, I'd say. Next turn, we're going to hit Miragliano, and we'll be good to go. The audience is always the target for a dab. Man, we're getting mixed results here in chat. You didn't know you could do PvP, as in not co-op. Yeah, you can do full-on PvP campaigns. You usually have to establish a few rules, otherwise it can get pretty cheesy, but me and Human Boy, my opponent, know each other quite well, so he's, it should be fine. And there we go. Manfred's shown up. His army doesn't seem too scary, though. We have 5 Hellstorm rocket batteries, so I think we just fight him. And, hey, we got a Fleet Admiral, Ed Tinley, with the Fleet Admiral membership. For those of you that don't know, the membership program. I use it to get ideas for future videos. And I also give my fleet admirals and my fleet admirals and deck gunners a shout out at the end of my streams. So thank you very much. You will get your shout out. And also, if you're looking for like an hour of gameplay, you can also message me on Discord. So that option is over there for you too, since you went for that top tier membership. Oh wait, been watching since you started on Twitch. Dang, that's quite some time, man. Oh my goodness. When was, let's see, since I was on Twitch, so that means it was slightly after I really got into or that was after speedruns then, since speedruns were sort of my jam when I initially started streaming. That was like the very first thing that kicked me off. So yeah, not many people really caught wind of that. But yeah, pretty sweet. At Enticity, please don't forget to manually save your campaign files. Yeah, so the plan is I'm manually saving the files at the end of every stream, and probably at the halfway mark of streams too, just because I'm a little bit more paranoid now. But I don't need to be spamming it, every turn. If we lose a few turns to some sort of freak accident or glitch, that can be made back pretty quickly. Alright, so Hellstorm rocket battery is going to do great against the cavalry so far. The infantry potentially could be a bit more annoying. We'll hit them with the banishment. And as for my handgunners, it looks like they're already in range of the cavalry, so that's quite nice. Alright. I do want to finish off these Black Knights, though, with the cavalry. When the AI goes for the flank like that, it can be a little bit annoying. Not to mention, there's also a Vampire Count's Lord over here that I need to deal with. Looks like he's trying to breath attack my wizard, too. A little bit of dodging will keep him safe, though. Let's see if I can bait him just a tiny bit closer. As for this caster, she almost dives into her death into my line of handguns. Sadly, she doesn't. But, at least we'll be able to pick up the Lord instead. And just to make things real easy on my handgunners, we're going to overcast our net. And that's going to hit up the Knights and the Lord. And then the focus fire is just going to obliterate him from orbit. At least hopefully. It looks like he is quite tanky. It is Manfred in this case. So we'll see if he manages to take 2 volleys of handgunner fire. The net lasts just long enough for 2 volleys. But wow, look at that. Manfred survives. And he's actually going to be a bit of an issue here. Hellstorm rocket battery is going to have to retarget too to deal with that infantry. The handgunners are just going to have to back it up a little bit. The infantry can stall things out, but a little bit of pullback from those handgunners should do well. And instead of focusing Manfred, I'm actually just going to focus the cavalry instead, since single entities, they're going to be a lot easier to manage after all the mobility has been dealt with. All right. At Enticity, do you remember the first time you learned why you shouldn't always leave your Hellstorms on fire at will? Well, I learned that, as soon as I got Hellstorms in this campaign. I technically learned the lesson. Have I applied it? Not really. So, a little bit of friendly fire there again, but what can you do? It's not like you can avoid friendly fire. That's not an option. Alright, Manfred is actually being a little bit of an issue here. Let's go ahead and just run away from him for now. And it looks like army losses is going to save the day, so that is quite good. A little bit of focus fire on Manfred just to finish him off, since it seems like army losses is going to take a while before he actually gets affected. And there we go with Manfred down. The battle is won. Although I did take a bit of damage on my infantry, it's fine. They were just spears. Ungrim can recruit a 20 stack of Slayers in like 2 turns. Yes, Ungrim is scary. We gotta be a little bit worried about him. Thankfully, he got confederated by Thorgrim, so he's not an issue anymore in this campaign. In fact, Ungrim was one of the factions that we took out way early on. I'm remembering it now. It was a bit of a task, but we done did him in. Oh, hey, look at that. We even kept all of our spears. That's quite nice. Yep, the fire of friendship. Exactly. Skaven knows. Skaven know what's up. Yep, every unit is expendable. Doesn't matter if you're the most expensive cavalry ever. If you're in range, you're a target. Alright, now we're gonna lose the fort. This was predicted though. You don't really need to hold it. Have you rang in the new year in Canada yet? Oh wow, it's already 2022. Sick. Mixed squaws. No, it's gonna be 2022 here in about 11 hours. So soon, but not that soon. Alright, so this should be a pretty easy fight. Just a bunch of infantry against Hellstorms. Can't be that bad. At Enticity, take a shot every time the Tomb Kings offer a treaty. Oh no, I don't want to kill myself with alcohol. Well, actually, right now they haven't offered too many. So it'd be like, you know, maybe a couple shots a stream. It wouldn't be impossible to do, but definitely ill-advised. Alright. Now, this initial army over here could be pretty big. I'll position my Hellstorms facing them just in case. But hopefully it's a smaller force and I can just finish them with my handgunners instead. Salutations, Hyberlisk. You're enjoying the campaign? Let's see, haven't seen all of it yet, but you're happy it's still going on. Yeah, campaign overall, it's been going. It's been going. A few setbacks here and there, but overall, in terms of survival, I'll say we're doing really well. What do you think is the hardest campaign for Warhammer 2? For Warhammer 2, the hardest campaign is Ka-Tep, as he has very few things to actually abuse in his for his faction mechanics, and he is in an absolutely terrible position where you can barely take any land. Definitely one of the hardest campaigns out there, if not the hardest. It's pretty insane, but definitely still winnable. All right, now I'm gonna need to wheel these Hellstorm rocket batteries around before these guys become an issue. Let's go ahead and get my melee infantry in there too, and hopefully hold that wave off. These guys are pretty piecemeal, so as soon as I deal with those guys, I should be fine. And I think a banishment should be able to basically handle that situation. At Enticity, why spearmen and not halberdiers? Ah, you assume I have enough buildings to decide what units I take. I'm taking spearmen because they're available. Much like the first job that I got, I was accepted because of my availability. So, you know, these guys know how to land a position. Oh yeah, we got a bot. It's insane. Let me let's see. Let me report that guy real quick. No mods on stream today. Yeah, looks like we might have to wait a bit before they show up. But you know, mods deserve a holiday. I don't expect them to be on all the time. Although basically any regulars I see are in a good position to become modded. All right, now most of these guys are dealt with. I will net down that lord though, and then just pull back with my infantry as much as I can. And that way, the Hellstorm should be able to finish off the rest of these halberdiers. Why spearmen and not steam tanks? There you go. Death mod knows what's up. All right, that's a nice volley. Nice. Lonzo down to less than a quarter HP. That's another, Talean lord down. Nice. Hellstorm rocket batteries are looking good. We'll just use them to finish off the rest of the ranged units, since they can be a little bit annoying to deal with. And then I think we'll be good. All right. There we go. We can even ×4 speed this. I think we basically won it. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Another victory under the belt. Okay, so I think Talean is basically crippled at this point. We've done a lot of damage to them. They've lost a ton of armies. They're about to lose their main settlement. I don't think they're going to be really much of a problem anymore. But honestly, they weren't much of a problem in the first place. They were just sort of annoying, taking out all of my side settlements. At Enticity, you'd mod this chat like Hellstorms mod the front line. Alright. Well, that's a bit sketchy. I don't know how I feel about that. What's this about Skarsnik? Oh yes, Skarsnik is a very difficult campaign too. Although, if you've seen my speedrun of capturing Karak 8 peaks with Skarsnik, I used a strategy from someone else to get 8 peaks in. I think it's 7 or 8 turns. You have to be pretty cheesy, but it is actually possible to get there and confederate. But yeah, you're basically marching towards 8 peaks, and then you underway stance beside it. They intercept. You win that battle by draw kiting them, and then boom, you have 8 peaks in like 7 turns. It's crazy. I would highly recommend trying it out if you guys haven't. It's quite fun. Captured mortars in an army with 5 Hellstorms already. Oh, did I? Did I? Let's take a look. Hey, look at that. We got the mortars. Sick. Even more artillery. This can't go wrong in the slightest. Alright, so Kemperbad is gonna get finished off. We're gonna lose the Sons of Sigmar, but they were sort of just a money drain, so I don't really need them. I'm gonna clean up the rest of the armies nearby, maybe even the vampire counts, and then I'm gonna see what I can do with this army. Of course, there's Altdorf, and there's Gelt to the north that I would like to deal with. For Grunberg, man, I hate that Grunberg can just can't find a garrison. I'll probably sort of chill around here for now to defend Grunberg as long as I can, and then after I can get walls around there, then I'll move out. But for now, I'm in no rush to abandon Grunberg. All right, Kemperbad is the buffer state, and then Quartermaster so that we get more money. All right, sweet. Streamer luck, perhaps. The first video you saw was actually my Belagar 8 Peaks rush. That's nice. Yeah, that one I was really happy about. That Belagar speedrun. I don't think anyone got anywhere close to as strong of a run. But nowadays, you can just get like Rune of Wrath and Ruin, right? And basically do the same thing. Not nearly as exciting as it used to be. Alright, how do I want to take this over? I could go for Miragliano right now. So like, I could hit here, bounce down, bounce up, and then back. And then loop back with Franz. Or I could hit here, hit Talean, and then go straight south into there. I feel like that could be decent.
The Empire.
Skaven Blight is still pretty low tier.
Is it time? By the
I guess, you know what, let's go over here with Franz. Let's see what Gelt has. Oh wow, he actually has a pretty big army, so quite happy that I managed that we'll be intercepting that. Heinz over here. Gonna finish off Steingart. I'm just gonna go for the classic occupy action. Wissenberg shouldn't have too large of an army. Oh, but Gelt does actually have quite a few guys over here. Cool. He has a Hellstorm rocket battery too, so you guys know what that means. I'm gonna get rid of one of our spearmen to try and steal it. Just noticed the Snake Lady in the Badlands. Yes, Khalida has actually done quite well for herself in this campaign. Against all odds, the Tomb Kings are dominating right now. Absolutely dominating. At Enticity, would you say you've stabilized? I will say yes. And I've been wrong every single time in this campaign. But this time feels different. Alright. As long as I'm very careful about not losing Altdorf, I'll be fine. You mainly play Bretonnian factions, very hard. You've tried a bit of Legendary and it's fine. But you prefer very hard overall. Yeah, there's no problem with that. The saves are really nice for very hard difficulty too. Usually, if I'm playing really casually for Legendary, if I get a unnecessarily bad fight, I just Alt F4. And then I'll end up with, then I can play the battle properly. But for this stream, there won't be any Alt F4s. As we're playing Legendary much more legit for this one. Alright. So here we go. Cavalry stack away. Just kidding. It's going to be the Pyromancer. So he's going to move up. We'll get these guys scooted up just a bit to get some damage in. But it's mostly going to be the Pyromancer getting in most of the damage today. Some burning heads, the usual. That Luminarch is terrifying. We do not want to get hit by that. And a couple Flamestorms should be able to do well too. The dreaded map, yeah. I saw Legend of Total War's video on this map. But overall, I don't think it's a terrible map. Like you said, it's hard to get ranged fire on it, but like this area, if you move to the left-hand side, it's pretty open. So, I don't know. I feel like it is, it's like a fine enough map. In fact, it used to be even more crazy with the giant statue. Now it's just a mini statue. I sort of miss the grandiose map that it was before, but this is sort of better when it comes to multiplayer and so on. All right. Hey, thank you, Hybralisk. Man, your name, it so much StarCraft nostalgia reading your name. But all right. Let's see. Looks like my heroes are doing well. I'll hit him with another banishment real quick. And then we're gonna push out and try and hit these range units. They shouldn't be too difficult to shut down. And then my handgunners, as usual, are going to deal with the with everything else pretty easily. The great swords are absolutely terrible against handgunners, but I guess I basically only have free company militia, so it might be a little bit more difficult to deal with them than I initially expect. But we'll have to wait and see. As for the Hellstorm, let's be very careful not to obliterate our own cavalry. And let's actually just pull them back right now. I don't want to get them caught in melee for too long. Alright. Pretty good. We'll hit the great swords with the spell. But I think my lords can more or less carry out the rest of the battle now. Oh yeah, StarCraft was... A lot of people here come from a Rome 2 sort of background back when they were younger. For me, I didn't even know the Total War series existed until recently. I was all about Blizzard games back in the day. So like, StarCraft, absolutely awesome. Warcraft 3, like classic Blizzard stuff. Really, really good games. Alright, so we do have Gelt on the battlefield. I'll want to deal with him in a second, but first things first, we have the juiciest Flamestorm over there in the distance, two of my heroes. That's gonna be really nice. There we go, roasting all of those elite infantry troops. And if we actually get a few of them to rout, then my cavalry can deal with the rest. Over here, these swordsmen aren't too much of an issue. And for the free company militia, they can just charge into melee now, since most of these guys are actually just ranged folks. So nothing that I really have to worry about. I can happily dive into melee against them without much issue. And then as for Gelt, he's actually quite tanky. I think I'm just gonna hit him with the army losses instead of actually fighting him out. Warcraft was peak fun in gaming, yeah. Man, it's too bad they never remastered Warcraft 3. Darn shame, I say. Absolute shame. Alright, man, so Gelt is still in the air. He's probably the only thing keeping this army from routing off the battlefield. But, I guess we'll just continue the fight. Let's see, we do have some militia nearby to actually hit him here. And hey, look at that. Okay, so he does actually hit army losses. Sweet. Top 3 Blizzard games with the mixed squads with the $2. Let's see. Thank you very much, by the way. I think my favorite Blizzard games... StarCraft 2 was my jam. That was when I really got into RTSs overall. Like when I started getting good at them. Since I could hit, I hit Masters in StarCraft 2. So that's definitely very up there. I never really got into the Diablo series. So I think StarCraft 2 for top, I believe. Warcraft 3 is really up there as my sort of top childhood games ever. So I'll say that. And then, let's see. Honestly, as bad as it is, maybe Hearthstone. I really got into Hearthstone when I was in university. So maybe Hearthstone. I don't know how much I enjoyed the experience as an afterthought, but I definitely played a lot of it. I think I completed like 10,000 matches of Hearthstone or something. It was insane. I was basically playing it 24/7 anytime I wasn't doing homework. But in terms of like overall quality, you know, of course, there are other RTS games are also very good. What race did I play in StarCraft 2? Oh, Protoss. Yeah, I was a Protoss player. Don't judge me. But yeah, I played Protoss in StarCraft 1, loved them. Moved on to StarCraft 2, stuck with Protoss, and the rest is history. Did I play Dota 1? I did not, but it seems pretty cool. I was more of a League of Legends type guy. That was not really because of preference, more because that's what everyone else was playing. But yeah, I think when Dota 1 was really kicking off, I think I was a bit too young to really get into that. But all right, nice. I think we made it to the next end turn. We even have a province for ourselves. Look at that. We'll get that growth going. Sweet, turn 220. Looking good. What's it? Don't you dare look. What's going on? Oof. That's a lot of money on Hearthstone. Yeah, see, the thing is, I was free to play, which means instead of spending $500, I just sunk hundreds and hundreds of hours into the game, which honestly is probably worth more than 500. Like, I could have just gotten a part-time job and unlocked just as much stuff, but you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, I've never actually played Dota 1. I think that was a little bit before my time, actually. Hearthstone got you more addicted than WoW. Yeah, it was crazy. I did play some World of Warcraft when I was really young. I was absolutely terrible at it because, you know, I was just a kid. And I thought the best way of leveling up in Warcraft was to just fight enemy mobs. I didn't like doing quests, so I was like, I'll just play this game my own way. And yeah, I would just run around killing raptors as an orc. That was my childhood. At least part of my childhood. I didn't really get into Warcraft that much. Are you winning? I am winning. Also, hello, human boy. Happy to have you here. For those of you that don't know, he's the guy that I'm facing in the head-to-head campaign. So if you want to check out his content, he covers a lot of multiplayer. You can see him right now and judge for yourself who you think will win. Hey, we got Loopy too. Hello. Protoss is the easy noob race. So I've heard. You know, I've heard a ton of that in my time playing as Protoss in StarCraft 2. And I will say, Protoss do have very easy macro mechanics compared to the other races. Like, you know, when you have to set up your base perfectly as Terran, it's like, it's a bit of a task. I tried out a bit of Terran. I tried out some Zerg. Injecting larvae onto my hatcheries was a pain. But Protoss, you know, you got warp gates and that's it. And actually, I didn't learn hotkeys very well until I really got into Warhammer. Before Warhammer, I had terrible hotkeys. It was disgusting. You guys did not want to see it. Spoilers, my money's on Enticity to win. Human boy, you can't throw the game. You can't bet on me and then throw. That's illegal. You like building gateways? Of course. That gateways are the essence of Protoss. 4-gate got me to Diamond. I'm ashamed to say. It wasn't anything special. It was just 4-gate and some pretty good macro on top of it. But to hit masters, I did have to adapt a little bit more. So I can be proud of that at least. They had some pretty cool Warhammer 40k maps for StarCraft. Ooh, I missed out on that. Yeah. Oh man, chat's going crazy. It's hard to keep up with while trying to not lose this battle at the same time. Let's go ahead and keep scooting these guys up. I'm gonna move my handgunners more forward so that they can actually support. Alright, sweet. Command and Conquer. Ooh, yeah. Command and Conquer. Man, that one I never really got into, but I feel like I would have totally loved that game if I had actually played it. Yeah, that one's a good one. At Enticity, do you think cavalry do a better job than halberdiers at keeping the enemy line, enemy away from the firing line? Yes, yeah. Cavalry's great, especially if the AI accidentally takes too many range units. Because you can just swoop them in and just overwhelm everything. Especially against Gelt, I found the cavalry have been able to do really well. Against the Wood Elves, cavalry is generally quite strong too. So they've definitely found a use in this campaign. Actually, more of a use than war wagons, but I guess that's not exactly a very high bar. But still impressive. Alright, so handgunners are lined up. I guess I'll just continue dodging with this guy until I get another Dwellers on Franz. Cavalry's just gonna swoop on in right along the side, and then they're gonna run over everything over here. Alright, how much is my Dwellers? 14 Winds of Magic, pretty low. Quite nice. You only need one more Winds of Magic, and that's gonna slam on down over there. Absolutely murder everything. Alright, great. Being a kid playing RTS, all mouse. Oh yeah. The after I got a bit older, I realized how terrible I was at RTSs. Yo, when I was playing StarCraft 1, I was young enough where, well, I don't know if even being young is an excuse anymore if you just look at Raynor and how good he is at StarCraft. But yeah, when I was a kid, trying to play on the ladder of StarCraft 1, it was terrible. Basically, it has an elo system that starts at... I was playing on IC Cup, by the way. It has an elo system. Starts you out at like 2,000 elo. But for me, every time I tried playing it, I would lose so many games. I would just always drop an elo. So I would just constantly reset my account so that I would have elo, because anytime I touched the game, it would just drop to, you know, like 1,000 or whatever. It was pretty rough. I never got good at that game, never. But you know, I came back in StarCraft 2. The beta is live now. The beta for what? Canned Sea? I have no idea what that is. What about the good old one base Void Ray? I never went ham on the Void Rays. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know about Void Rays in StarCraft 2, imagine, you know Necrofex spam, how that's really OP in Warhammer single player? Void Ray spam is basically Necrofex spam, except in a multiplayer environment. It's crazy. Oh, thanks, human boy. Yeah, I guess it's time to farm the likes. I don't know. I never really think about likes a whole ton, but I think it does actually help sort of promote the video a lot more. So if you guys want to share this video with the others, hitting the like is the easiest way to do so. But of course, do not feel obligated to. All right, what's going on over here? Altdorf is about to get hit by that siege army. Well, not siege army, but rebellion. Thankfully, we have another slot, so if we can steal the Hellstorm rocket battery here, then perhaps we can get a 6th Hellstorm rocket battery in this army. Nothing like a little bit of overkill to really win the day. You know what? We'll even increase their damage just cause. Just to really show them who's boss. This guy's gonna be the Hellstorm rocket battery army. Alright, meanwhile over here we have, you know, the insane Grail Knight spam of the Bretonnians. I think we're gonna lose the settlement unless they decide to wait another turn. That's a bit unfortunate, but We'll see what we can do. I do have 1,000,000 heroes, so they can sort of constantly assault units. HBYY. Why you here? Go to work. Oh boy. You're getting judged, son. Let's see. Wow. Man, the assault units. Faye Enchantress has some good hero action defense. That's unfortunate. So she's going to be a little bit of a threat. And I'm not sure if there's going to be much I can really do to save that city. At least it seems like it's going to stall her for a little bit. What else do I have here? I have a hero. Anyone to assassinate? Looks like that's a no. Well, that's too bad. I guess we'll slow down Gelt's army at least. What's my favorite old school RTS? Totally StarCraft. Yeah, StarCraft was my jam. Warcraft 3 was my favorite RTS that I played as a single player game. The Warcraft 3 campaign took me about 10 years to beat because I was busy developing my brain while trying to beat it. I used cheat codes unashamedly for the longest time, but when I finally grew out of that, it was amazing. And to this day, Warcraft 3 is probably one of my most played campaigns of all time. It's a good old time, but I'm terrible at Warcraft multiplayer. You definitely don't want to see that. Hammond asking, are you winning? I am, I would say yes. But we've been winning since the beginning of the campaign. Also, by the way, Hammond, I don't know why you're not a mod yet. You've been here like forever. Let me mod you. Look, your name's Blue. Congratulations. All right, let's see. Pretty easy fight. Nice. Yo, I would be down to do like a quick playthrough of the Warcraft campaign on stream. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'll try it out sometime. Right now, we're focusing on the Warhammer, of course. But maybe a few months after Warhammer 3 is out, I'll probably, you know, I'll dabble a little bit in that action. All right, here we go. Fae Enchantress. Thankfully, it's only the Fae Enchantress. But can I win this fight? It's 1,000,000 knights, but I do have a decent hero squad. It's nothing crazy. And the biggest problem is that I don't have a lot of troops in general. If they attack only one gate, I think it's okay. But if they split up, we're screwed. We're really screwed. It's really easy to underestimate the power of these knights. But the campaign buffs are insane. Absolutely insane. All right. Yay for Faye. That's true. She does have a really good defeat trait, but I don't think I'm going to be killing her in this battle. All right, so it looks like she is favoring this side of the battlefield. That's definitely a plus. I have my hero squad over here. I'm going to try and blob up the knights as well as they can. Then I have some handgunners and crossbowmen, and even some outriders. So that's all right. Mortars are going to be firing over here. But it really depends on whether or not the knights decide to go for the capture point. The flyers, I don't think they will. And as for these guys, I guess they can man the walls. Get a few extra shots in. The really important thing is these are these halberdiers. And whether or not they can hold this choke point. Preferably, I could open the gates immediately to let the Bretonnians in. But I don't think there's an easy way to make that work. But you know what? Let's try it out. Do I really want to gate bug it though? I guess, you know, they're gonna battering ram it anyways. It doesn't matter too much. All right, mortars though are definitely gonna fire in on those foot squires. Right wizard gonna move to a safer position. And these archers are gonna meet a face full of swords. So that's quite nice. Looks like, yep, they are going to be going all in on this wall. This is basically the perfect situation for me. But the first challenge is going to be these flyers. They might just win it on their own. You could open the gates that they don't get in unless they fix that bug. I don't think they fixed the bug, but I don't want to abuse the gate bug all the time, you know? I want to have some fun experimenting. All right. Now, like I said, the Hippogriff Knights are going to be the biggest issue here. They're doing some really weird swoops on all of my guys, but it seems like it's working effectively. As for my artillery, it's just going to continue firing in on those foot squires. Looks like a big spell's going to be dropping over here, so I think I can dodge that one at the very least. Get out of there! Nice. We got them to friendly fire themselves. Meanwhile, over here, Hippogriff Knights are being a pain. But I do have my Halberdiers. They can pull back and sort of support my guns, as they definitely need that support. Looks like the Pegasus Knights are dealt with, and the walls have been secured. This is definitely a big plus. I want to chase down those archers too. But can I get the Hippogriff Knights down before the gate breaks? It looks like that's a no as the gate opens up. And that means that we have a bit of an issue here as the Knights are about to start pouring in en masse. Here we go. Thankfully, it seems like the Crossfire has dealt with the Hippogriff Knights. The Mortars are going to position here, and I'm going to target fire them right into the blob of Knights. The reason I positioned a little bit back with my Halberdiers is to make sure that there is a little bit of space for the Mortars to fire, which is that little pocket right in there. But is it too much space? Will they slip out? It looks like maybe. I'm not entirely sure just yet. But so far, at the very least, we've dealt with the Hippogriffs. So it's on the Mortars to really sort of hard carry in this situation here. If I can get the Bright Wizard to get some hits in, that'd be really good too. So let's see if I can get some lengthwise shots on these Knights. Oh, right, man, I wish I had more AoE, but unfortunately I do not. I do have a bunch of handgunners though, and they're gonna have the work cut out for them for sure, but maybe they'll be able to work some magic in. The Mortars are doing quite well too, actually. This is like the perfect blob scenario for them. So hopefully it goes well. What's going on in chat? Pretty sure Human Boy is the fastest mod in the West. Oh, nice. Looks like I have employed the correct person then. Now, how are these Knights doing? It looks like they're slowly starting to push through. I'm going to continue spamming fireballs in here, though. Looks like that's a big ol' potion drop from the Fey Enchantress. See if I can dodge with my guys. Oh boy, that's a painful hit. Real brutal over there, but the front line continues to hold. As for my heroes, they're doing all right. The Bright Wizard is getting caught up a little bit. I'm going to try and hit these guys with the Burning Head. Hopefully it doesn't bounce and hit my infantry. Looks like my guys are getting bounced around too much. Oh boy, this is going to be quite scary as we are rapidly running out of infantry here to support. Thankfully, I still have my heroes. Infantry are winning the walls, so time is of the essence on whether or not we can secure this middle area. It seems like it's probably going to be a no, but not without us giving a bit of hurt to all of these Knights. It seems like we got a decent amount of damage in. Do Mortars have any AP? Yeah, they don't have a ton, but on a direct hit, it's decent. If you take a look over here, armor-piercing missile damage, actually quite high, 32. So, you know, it's decent. If they're landing right into a blob of Knights, it'll do a little bit of work, but they're spilling in now. I do not have enough infantry to kill this many Grails, so we'll just leave it to the heroes to get as much damage in as they can before army losses, and hopefully we manage to kill a few of them, because these guys are a pain to deal with, even if you have a million war wagons, as we tested out earlier. All right. Whew. So not bad. We killed the Flyers. Those guys are pretty annoying. The Grail Knights took about, you know, a third to half of their HP and damage. Maybe like a third losses. Infantry took a few hits. I'd say it's a decent defense. But we can always, you know, take this settlement back. The thing is, though, it means Reichland is going to have a much harder time actually holding terrain. So I'll probably have to bounce around with my army instead of trying to hold land. All right. Empire maps are great. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the Empire maps. It feels like the Empire maps, you know, there's just tons of trees everywhere. I like the sort of flat terrain type maps. Fits my sort of ranged playstyle more. And even cavalry benefit from fewer trees too, so I feel like, that fits my preference a bit better. Alright, now I wanted to kill off the Skaven, bounce back here, finish off Gelt, and then I need to move in and actually take out that Skaven settlement that's spamming out armies, because the AI, they can fund 3 armies at the same time off of one settlement. So it's super important that you're actually finishing off factions here. Anyone remember the bugged map Legend of Total War showed, where 2 armies would spawn on top of each other? Oof, that sounds real rough. Definitely not want that to be happening. Let's see, nice. We have another province. Pretty good. Alright, but this guy's gonna have his work cut out for him. We got the Bretonnians being a huge pain over here with their knight spam. Let's see. Of course, I do have all these Hellstorm rocket batteries. They're gonna do really well for me, but man, Bretonnia, such a pain in this campaign. At least, right now, what are we really worried about? Bretonnia and sort of a few forces to the east. And that's about it. So, as soon as we're done dealing with the Bretonnian armies, I think we'll be in a better place. Oh. Legend campaign normal battle gang rise up. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I feel like if CA just made it where you're fighting more hordes of enemies, that would be a more fun difficulty modifier than sort of just giving them insane, sort of imbalanced combat buffs in campaign. That feels a little bit strange, but it seems like they're addressing that issue at least partially in Warhammer 3, so I'm quite excited. Hopefully they manage to do it in a way that doesn't break the game entirely. Port map in Norska with Bretonnia. What are you guys talking about? High elves, something about dark elves. All right, I'll let that conversation continue going. Almost mismicroed my Hellstorm rocket batteries while looking away. I keep hotkeying them on 5 when they should be on 6. And as for my arch, by the way, this right here, this spinny arrow, is the best thing that, yeah, look at that spin. I can't wait until that's fixed in Warhammer 3. And in the gameplay footage, it does seem like it's confirmed that has been fixed, which just makes me the happiest person ever, because it's so annoying to accidentally spin a random dial when you're just trying to move your lord out of the way. My goodness, I'm so happy that they finally fixed that. The amount of free money the AI get is ridiculous. It's true, but I like the fact that the AI gets extra money. I like fighting more battles. What is a little bit more frustrating for a lot of people is the fact that in battle units will perform a lot stronger than you would expect. At least it's a lot easier to parse sort of what units or the strength of units with on normal battle difficulty mode. Or alternatively, if AI just made the next DeepMind and they just made an insane if CA just made an insane AI, I would also be very happy with that. Just make an AI as strong as a player. And by as strong as a player, I mean as tactically strong. Because the really annoying thing that they do is that CA decided to give the AI perfect dodging skills. So when you shoot them with or at least before, when you shot them with artillery, they would just always dodge every single missile. That was really annoying too. So there's a bit of a fine balance to work with there, but I feel like at least we're getting some steps in the right direction with Warhammer 3. All right, you're using a Q-tip as a spacebar, so your typing speed is super slow. Interesting. Q-tip as in like the thing that's not supposed to go in your ear. AI really needs extra money, yeah. What I would be really interested in, and this is sort of a pipe dream, but if CA could give different lords different AI, so like, Grimgor, his AI should be super aggressive, you know. Don't worry about a lot of flanking, whatever, right? Don't make him a tactical genius. So sort of like that, right? Or like, you know, some AIs could prefer looser formations, really thin lines, you know. I feel like that would be pretty easy to implement, but not really on CA's radar to do so. Not to mention having similar AI between battles might be an intended feature too. But a man can dream. Yeah, Q-tips. Q-tips. If you use Q-tips to clean your ear, you gotta be real careful. You're not supposed to go very deep with them, is my public service announcement for the day. Do not damage your ears with Q-tips. It is a common thing. But you know, just a general heads up. I'm sure most of you guys know about that. Let's see. We'll play this battle out. AI barely works as it is right now, though. Well, yeah, you know, if you give the AI different sort of personalities, I feel like even if it doesn't play perfectly, it has a chance of doing well instead of sort of being consistently abusable. Imagine one dwarf AI where it defaults to corner camping. Ah, yes. If CA actually programs corner camping, honestly, they programmed in forest camping. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got corner camping too. But what would be fun? You can actually make it so the different factions have a higher chance of spawning a lord with certain traits. So like, you know, the dwarves will generally prefer defensive box type formations. You know, that sort of general idea. But you know, maybe like 1 in 10 dwarf lords will be super aggressive and just rush with their armies. Like, there's a lot you can sort of play around with here. I feel like there's some potential. It'll only cost, you know, probably tens of thousands of dollars to implement, but who knows, maybe it'll be worth it. Shogun 2 has hill camping AI. Warhammer 2 has hill camping AI. It's a pain. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying, but like technically it's a strategic bonus, but you know, no one really wants to be playing with an AI that camps the hill. That's for the player to do. Oh right. So, real question, can I bait the Lord into the range of my handgunners? The presumption is yes. I'm gonna move on over here. Looks like there we go. It's gonna get pinned down by my Lord. I'm gonna proc our buffs to keep him nice and safe so he doesn't get obliterated. And then we're gonna die to a million chariots as soon as they actually make it to me. Chariots are gonna be a little bit of an issue here. Of course I do have nets, but it's not like this hill is the perfect position to actually land nets right now. Not to mention the Tomb Kings are really piling in hard now. And they are at the base of the hill. So that makes it much harder for them to... Makes things much harder for me to actually get a good line of fire here. But if I can get them to blob up enough, it should be fine. I think a net right here should be able to do it. If I can catch those Ushapti, we're good. There we go, they get caught up. I think we're all alright. Hellstorm rocket batteries are gonna have to hold their fire for a second while I wait for the Tomb Kings to crest the hill. And as for the Lord, we'll finish him off in a second. He's sort of low priority. These Necropolis Knights are actually way scarier than the Lord because they can disrupt multiple units of handgunners at the same time. But a single volley looks like it's going to be finishing them off. Alright, sweet. Back to the Hellstorm rocket batteries firing away. Focus on the Lord, and I'll take a look at chat in just a second once things calm down slightly. Things are still pretty intense right now, but with the Tomb King's Lord down, I think we are okay. Still though, Hellstorm rocket batteries are in a terrible position. The friendly fire is gonna be insane here if I'm not careful. Yes, pathfinding is easy. Just simulate every single path. As a programmer, that makes me want to throw up, but you know, there are actually some situations where brute force solutions are actually the best way to handle things. When it comes to Warhammer, probably not. Yeah, does P equal NP You know, maybe he's figured it out. You don't know. You don't know. For reference, how many people in chat even know about P equals NP? How many of you guys are in the know about that? Because I could talk about programming all day. You know, I studied that in school, but I feel like I'd have to really go deep with the analogies to explain things properly. But you know, basically what it means is there's a set of you have a set of solutions. All right, we're gonna explain some programming stuff. Not exactly programming, but like some theory. Basically, in the world, you have a set of problems that are really that you can solve in a decent amount of time. Not like extremely quickly, but decent enough when it comes to programming. But then you have another set of problems that you basically have to brute force to calculate. Like there's no other way to solve it to basic math. Oh geez, I've heard that too many times, isolated sushi. But yeah, so you have polynomial time solutions, which is problems you can solve in a decent amount of time. And then you have NP, which is like things that take exponentially long to figure out. So for example, what's it? There's like some basic, oh, it's been so long. I forget what a basic NP problem is, but there's some problems where you basically have to brute force it. Oh, I know. Like organizing things in a box, right? You know, basic problem. I come up to you, I'm like, hey, I want to move some couches to my new house, right? I'm moving, and I want to fit as many things in the storage truck as I possibly can, so that, you know, that we don't have to make as many trips. That problem, if I'm working this correctly, that problem, to get the most optimal packing into a truck, can only be solved with brute force. Of course, you can find a way to get most of the way there and be pretty efficient, but if you want to be the most efficient, you have to brute force it. And then sort of the problem that you know, scientists, not scientists, but you guys know what I mean, are trying to figure out is whether or not that packing problem into the truck is as difficult, like if it's actually easier than you think. I think that's basically the explanation of this in layman's terms. I might have butchered it, and you know what, if I did butcher it, chat will let me know in a short second. But that's basically the gist of it, I think. Yeah, NP, how long it takes Enticity to remember things. Boo, rapidly, oh my gosh. Wow. I come here on New Year's Eve just to be roasted. I love it. Oh my gosh. Also factoring, yes, factoring, the thing that keeps your credit card information safe is because the way that they make it safe is that to decode it takes NP amount of time. It basically takes forever. Which means that if someone actually manages a way to figure out these difficult problems quickly, credit card security just goes down the drain immediately, and it causes a ton of problems. So that's sort of the state of things. It gets more complicated. You know, I'm trying to emulate Day 9 here. He's really good at going into these types of explanations, but you know, this is the best I can really give right now. So P stands for easy peasy and NP stands for not peasy. Yeah, yes, there you go, Phil. I think you got it. I think you got it. All right, what are we looking at here? Man, explaining this in a way that I can feel satisfied about, I swear, is harder than playing this campaign. My goodness. Because it gets real deep. Like, you know, NP problems, if you can solve one of them, you can solve all of them, I think, if I'm saying it right. They did some proofs to do stuff, but, you know, this NP complete, it's insane. Enticity 9, there you go. You preferred Tasteless to Day 9? I actually haven't watched too much Tasteless. But if you couldn't tell, my streaming style is heavily inspired by Day 9. Sort of the general attitude and the vibe in chat. It's sort of what I'm aiming for here. Just because, you know, I grew up on Day 9, it's great. Now let's see. I think we just go to the next turn. There's nothing else to do right now. Sweet. Alright, now what's going on in chat? We got some day 9 hearts in chat, yeah. Honestly, like, you know, the overlap between the Warhammer community and people that watch day 9, this is like the perfect demographic for people that can relate to that. Alright, what's this? Just a random dwarf army, that's fine. What kind of campaign is this? What happened? It is this is Total War campaign. Full description in the description. But basically, we declare war on everyone, and we're trying to win the entire campaign. We're on max difficulty settings, and right now it's going all right. It's going all right. Oh, Isolated Sushi, you're actually programming right now. That's nice. You're a nice background speaker for it. Sweet. That's good to hear. Man, I always did programming and watching YouTube at the same time. Back when I did programming. But yeah, I love software development, guys. It's an absolute joy. It's sort of like, if you can imagine how fun it is to do woodworking and to make, you know, to make something on your own, like a table or something. Programming is basically that, but for everything that you can have on a computer. Which means you can basically make whatever you want given enough time and resources. So really it's great. Oh wow, yeah, and you know what else is great? A full battle pilgrim army against a Hellstorm rocket battery stack. Jeez Louise, this is gonna be an easy fight. Quantum computing. Oh geez, quantum computing that's starting to get a bit above me. I know how to explain it in layman's terms, but I don't understand it. Yeah, quantum computing. Man, if they really nail that, though, that's going to be crazy. Day 9 is a former StarCraft pro and announcer. Yes, for anyone who doesn't know. I guess I probably should have explained it. Day 9 is one of the, like, OG people on Twitch. He, he's the one that, you know, helped suggest a whole bunch of features that are on Twitch, if I'm remembering this correctly. So, sort of like, as a huge influence on streaming as a whole, Day 9 is like ginormous. But he's not like the biggest streamer in the world. There's definitely people that fill those slots. Programming is fun when you write code. It is terrible when you're working with other people's code. Ah, yes, yeah, the usual. You know, programming also is quite terrible when you're working with your code after a month's worth of time. For those programmers out there, looking at your old code, looking at your old comments is insane. It's like you're reading... It's a really weird feeling, reading your own comments. Essentially, it's like you recognize what you wrote. You remember writing it. But you just do not understand what in the world you're trying to convey in your own comments. It's just like a note to yourself from the past. But you were absolutely insane. And probably a bit lazy too, just writing complete short form. It's an experience. I don't know if it's a joy to read your own code, but it's definitely an experience I feel like people should have in their lives. Also, by the way, these battle pilgrims are absolutely gonna run me over. I can feel it right now. They're getting way too close for comfort. And Lewin has not gone down yet, despite getting a million bullets to the face. But I think this next net is gonna take him out. And I'll catch up with chat in a second, but right now I'm trying not to die. Let's see, we'll hit him with the Shems. Go, my wizard. Get the tiny amounts of poke damage on him. There we go. Hopefully that helped in the slightest. And nice, we have Lewin down. The spears are engaged with battle pilgrims, but I think I should be able to get these guys into army losses soon. Maybe even banishment over here. Yeah, that's Lewin for you. He has insane missile resist. It's the same thing in multiplayer too, so I was sort of expecting it, but I didn't expect that much in campaign. He was basically like indestructible levels of missile resist. Yes, it's New Year's and I am streaming. The thing is, New Year's celebrations for me are gonna take a while. They're like a few hours away. like what, 10 hours before it's 2022 for me. So, you know, I'm just taking the beginning of my day to spend some time with chat, enjoy myself. And by the way, for those of you who have hit the New Year's, Happy New Year. Happy New Year's, guys. Hopefully this one is better than the last. But even if it's not, I hope this campaign inspires you to continue enduring despite the hardships. Things will go on, even if it's not perfect. That's as motivational as they can get. Honestly, things can sometimes be terrible anyways, but yeah, no, I guess we'll shelf that for a later time. Now is not the time to think about it. Oh man, Lewin took a lot of damage, by the way. I'm surprised. Probably had like 90% resistance. Oh man. Yep. Yeah, reading your own code. Brutal. What a brutal experience. You know, writing your own comments and then reading it is a nice test for communication without needing a guinea pig. Because then you get to see firsthand what it's like speaking to yourself. Which makes me very self-conscious, because now I know my explanations are terrible. Because, like, if you guys have seen my code, which you guys haven't and you never will, you would be worried. My code is pretty trashy. And if any employers for programming are watching this stream for whatever reason, ignore that. My code is wonderful. Please hire me. Just kidding, I'm a full-time streamer now. Hopefully. For a while. Play Warhammer with a Steam controller when? Is there a mod for that? I will do that if there's a mod. I feel like, I don't know, but that might be too janky, right? I feel like that might not be fun to watch, because I'd just be finagling with controls the whole stream. But as a general experience, it seems like it could be quite fun. Oh wait, what's this? Just a bunch of infantry. Nice, we'll hit him with the Hellstorms. Show code picks when? Yes, I'll make an OnlyFans account and just show code on it. That'll be it. Only my highest tier subscribers get to see my code. And that's not an innuendo. I'm literally just gonna show you programming. By the way, another fun use of programming, when you're playing board games and you want to calculate the most optimal plays, writing a bot to brute force the best solution, pretty fun. Also pretty useless, but pretty fun, I will say. Alright, now this is the point where I wish I had a warrior priest to help cheese this fight, but we're just gonna have to do without. Hey, Rocky Balboa with another 10! Saying please send your GitHub profile. Yeah, see, the thing is, for a second, I think my GitHub actually had, because I do have a ladder bot that is basically a Discord bot. And for a moment, I think I actually had my Discord, like, bot code to access the bot on there. Which was really, really bad, because that means someone could have hijacked my bot until I removed it. But I think it's gone permanently now. But I'm still a bit too paranoid to make that public. Show code. Sure, I'll copy paste an if then statement. You know, maybe one day when Warhammer 3 is finally done its life cycle and there's nothing else to stream, maybe I will just become a programming streamer. What a life that would be. What would I even code? Oh, by the way, guys, and I did put this in as a suggestion for CA. I asked them to make a public API for their battle AI. What that is basically is that it'll let you make a mod where you can control the battle AI with code. Because I would love to write the AI, the battle AI for Warhammer games. I feel like that would be absolutely amazing, and I'm surprised CA has not let me do that yet. But, you know, if you guys want to petition for that on the forums or something, I would gladly have that seen, because just imagine how sick that would be if people are coding their own AI for Warhammer, right? Because, like, people would gladly spend so much time to make a good AI for this game. They just need the right tools. So, man, that would be so sick. That is like my ultimate dream for Warhammer. Yeah. What's this? He asked the developers to make a feature which would make the developers look stupid. Not really. Not really. Like, if you look at StarCraft, right? One of the biggest RTSs in the entire world, you know, they have a public API for their game, and there's no issue with that. It's not to trash on CA's developers. It's to give them free workers. You're literally having an army of interns that are just happy to spend their days and nights working on the AI for you. Like, come on. It's the perfect situation. I don't know. This is the real reason why I grew the YouTube channel, so that I can sell this specific idea to CA. Oh my goodness. Yeah, fan-made AIs are great. Have you guys seen the Age of Empires AIs? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, a community project for AI. Man, the dream, the ultimate dream, guys. But the thing is, it is like the effort they have to put in to make a public API for Warhammer is probably roughly equivalent to actually just coding, you know, recoding their AI right now, which is basically me saying it's probably not on their radar. It's probably not worth it to make an entire public API. But if they do, you know, I'll be ready. I'll be ready for it, that's for sure. Alright, now anyways, I think I've beaten up this garrison enough. Let's finally start moving up my forces. I want to secure this middle ground for my Empire Knights to start laying into them. You will program an AI to freak out even more at walls. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on too that would really make programming AI hard, which is why I don't blame CA for having sort of janky AI. But you know, it's a wish. It's a dream. Yeah, like honestly, I'm pretty sure most of the AI people program are gonna be way worse than what CA have right now. But on the other hand, it will make people more humble about CA's AI, you know? It's sort of a situation where, like, if you want something better, try making it yourself and see how easy it is. You know, it'll show them who's boss. Warhammer 2 engine is basically a machine spirit at this point. What do you mean by that? Sorry, I think I'm missing that reference a bit, but maybe I'll get it in a second. You want an AI that docks ladders with all infantry and then breaks down the gates. Then climbs the ladders. Okay, I see. I see. Yes, just, you know, let's get an AFK AI. Also, by the way, actually, now that I talk about it, an AFK AI would actually be really useful for testing battles and so on. Because right now the AI can be quite annoying, because it always tries to get engaged. So when you're doing unit testing, it can be pretty janky. Like oftentimes, if you want to get proper unit testing, you have to call someone in to help you out. So like, yeah, the possibilities are really endless. Truly, truly endless, I say. Warhammer 40k lore, ancient technology so advanced. Oh, I see. Oh, I should have known. I should have known. I know about this lore. Now I feel ashamed. Alright. Tank dying? Don't worry about it. I never let my steam tanks die. Never. Absolutely never. Alright, let's pull this way. Let's heal them up. What's left of this garrison? Just some artillery crews? Yeah, nothing to be worried about. Alright, so it's pretty straightforward battle. I think that went alright. Nice. The machine spirit is angry, indeed. Oh man. Maybe, you know, by the time CA releases Warhammer 40k, maybe sort of like, you know, how they had the laboratory as the thing that they added for Warhammer 2. Maybe they'll have like the machine spirit DLC, where they add in an API for people to play with. Yeah. I never let the steam tank die. They just die themselves. Alright, this is a good sack. And then an occupy. Honestly, you really only need the settlement at tier 3. You don't miss out on a lot by having it at tier 3, so this is pretty good. In fact, this is a really good loadout for the settlement. I might want to try holding this.
Seek out the heretics.
I say that, but I'm probably gonna lose it in 2 turns, maybe to the dwarves that are conspicuously chilling over there. We lost Altdorf, but that's okay. I think it's time we start heading to the Skaven, but first things first, let's clean this guy up. Sure, we'll lose the Spearman. I didn't need him anyways. And then, you know what, let's just retake Altdorf. Why not, right? Do we have the Flayed Rock? Remind me where the Flayed Rock is again? Don't the special Empire steam tanks explode on death? They also explode when you're out off the map. It's weird, but it happens. Alright. So, that's Heinz. His army's sort of weird right now. We got this guy. Arch-Lector. I'm gonna get the final upgrades. The gold chevron upgrades for those handgunners when they get stronger. Then let's stop the Fey Enchantress. I really don't want her to siege Altdorf, but if she does, I will and can kill her. What else? Another wizard? No, not a wizard. Oh, what's it? Oh my gosh, a witch hunter. There we go. Alright. Pretty good. I guess we just move on to the next turn. Do you forget about elevator music? Never forget. Never forget. Oh, hey, look, we got some extra guys to declare war on. You think we briefly had Flayed Rock and then Snickich assassinated the save file. Ah, yes, Flayed Rock's all the way in the bottom right corner. Yeah, that's gone now. Got deleted. This campaign is a prime example why there are no winners in war. Everything is getting blown up. Well, I don't know. I feel like Franz is winning in his own way. Like, for the civilian populace, this is terrible. This is absolute chaos. But when it comes to who's first, well, actually, that's gonna be Nagarond. So I think I've disproven your argument in entirety. The Dark Elves are winning. Now let's get to the next turn, and then we're gonna back up the save file so we don't lose it. Ooh, at Enticity, half of my campaign is saves coming ambush success chance by finding ways to advance the RNG pointer. Ah, yes, the classic. I had my fair share of RNG fests for my campaigns when I started and for my first few thousand hours of the game. But I feel like at this point, you know, I've played thousands of hours of Warhammer multiplayer. I feel like I should be able to beat this with a bit less cheese. Can you confirm something? Someone mentioned that Lightning Strike has a hidden modifier that makes you fatigue faster. Yes, apparently. Well, that's true according to the person, but I don't know personally if that's true. I'd have to do a bit of an investigation to see myself. And currently, I don't have an easy means to do that, sadly. But, you know, I might check it out later. Alright, now let's take out this guy. Decisive victory, very good. And then we're going to move and deal with the Skaven. At Enticity, I think Franz is winning. He died like 20 times. Like, I guess, but look at how stable the Empire is right now. No. If this isn't winning, right? Are you going to tell me this is losing? Clearly this isn't losing. Okay, maybe it is, but, you know, whatever. Alright, now Miragliano is in a state of sort of... The dwarves might be here, that's the problem, right? If the dwarves are there, they can cause a lot of issues, but... What I'm looking at right now is Sartosa. More ways than one. This is a prime settlement. Very, very good place to go to. Also, someone said they wanted me to go to Galleon's Graveyard last stream. Donated quite a bit. And I feel like that would be an interesting place to take soon enough. So, sort of this cube of land is my next target to sort of start conquering if possible. But of course, we'll still be holding Altdorf if we can.
I see no other option.
Do a save scum and just run your units around? Ah, yes. Prime entertainment.
Protector of the weak.
Alright, now, Nuln. Do I want to try and save it? Or do I want to hunt down the Bretonnians? I feel like I want to hit the Bretonnians up. Nuln is not looking that great. But like, it's getting real annoying having to save them all the time. I guess I might as well though, because there's not really much else to do currently. Let's try it out. Get that decisive victory going. He said, stable, take a shot. What was I supposed to... Oh, was it diplomacy for the Tomb Kings? That you wanted me to take shots on? Franz will only win when he finally summons the Elector Counts. Guys, I don't think there's that many Elector Counts anymore. Like, I don't think these are very good Elector Counts. I don't know, maybe just me. Alright. Let's see, but that's pretty good. We hit up the Nuln. We're gonna hurt the Fey Enchantress a little bit. Give her a run for her money. Okay, we wounded one of our guys, but she's slowed down at the very least. Gonna slow down Alberic. Try and kill a few of those guys. A bit of a failure there, but that's okay. And we're just gonna wait until we can get a garrison here. I actually do want this settlement. Like, this is a pretty defensible position, especially since there aren't that many armies to the south. We also have some lizardmen, apparently, that managed to survive. That's pretty scary. And what are we looking at here? Looks like... Okay, well, we can't check them out. I'll look at it later. But it seems like we will have to fight some lizardmen later in this campaign. So you guys have that to look forward to. Sweet. Let's go ahead and end the turn. This guy. What's this guy gonna do? Should I hit Karak Norn? Maybe. And then finish off Gelt over here. That seems like a good enough decision. Rip your liver. Yep. I cannot handle alcohol that much, guys. I do not have enough body weight on me to do that. Galleon's Graveyard, the most stable province of the Empire. It may end up being. You know, I don't want to call it just yet, but maybe your boss let you out early. Oh, that's sweet, man. Happy to hear, Rocky. So we'll catch the rest of this disaster later. All right, sweet. Man, I'm still tempted to send my campaign files to Legend of Total War as just an endless tide of this is, or I mean, as an endless tide of save my disaster battles. Oh, hey, hello there. I see you like war. Ah. Yeah, Manfred is more of an Elector Count than Franz. You know there's issues in the Empire when that happens. What's your plan here? Finish off Gelt with Franz. Plan number 1. Plan number 2, secure Reichland. Maybe even secure Marienburg. And then use a 20 stack to start devastating the enemy by traveling around. Grimgore is down to 7 settlements, which means it's probably time to hurt the dwarves before they send their endless 20 stacks my way. Oh boy, that's bad. That's bad. The dwarves are like a couple turns away from dominating. But the plan overall is to first just pick off guys one at a time. That's sort of the general idea here. Don't have any experience with this is Total War campaign challenges so far. Would holding Marienburg be feasible? I tried it in a few test runs. Overall, it's a little bit sketchy. The thing is, if you go for Marienburg, you can't go for Nuln, and you don't have the steam tanks to hard carry you.
I trust no man.
So that sort of, you know, has you running into a lot of problems. But all right, I'm gonna go for Sartosa now. I don't see any reason why not. So let's do it. Can also take this settlement too. And hey, look at this. We have a province, guys. At Enticity, can you please name one of your Hellstorm units the Stabilizer? Sure. We'll give it to one of these Hellstorm rocket batteries. Here we go. Let's see. The stabilizer. Is that the correct spelling of stabilizer? Sorry, I need a... It is! Wow, look at that. My spelling's terrible. Sorry, guys. Despite really enjoying math and programming, I did real bad in English. I'm sorry, guys. So, you know, if you ever see me trying to spell things, expect some problems. But other than that, I think we're all right. Let's see, Nuln is in a state of constant war, but I can at least start working on the garrison there. And until I push over here, I'm just gonna sort of secure this area. The Altdorf Nuln area feels like it's quite stable right now. You know, the Bretonnians aren't really pushing into there yet. So I'm feeling quite good about that. As for this army, we're just gonna sit out in the open and let them move in and engage me. And hopefully the Hellstorms can sort of take him out.
It is time. Yes, blessed is this action.
Give it to the Sunmaker. It's too late. It's too late. Oh, wait. You're an English tutor. Want help? Oh, man, nah, it's good. It's good. All right. I think this is... Yeah. Where's the triple spike? There we go. Nice.
Seek out the
Hey, and Phil McDonald with the £5. Nice. Thank you very much. Saying spelling things right is for cowards. Well, I don't know. I don't want to trash on English, but I gotta say English class was one of my least favorite classes back when I was a kid. And now I'm writing essays for videos. So joke's on me because I spend so much time scripting things nowadays. Honestly, English, it turns out, is actually useful when you go into streaming. Who would have guessed? So, you know, eating my words now. And most of the things I learned in programming school was not very useful when I actually landed a job. It's really weird how the world works out, but you know, I guess you know, it's all fine in the end. Speaking of things that are fine in the end, this campaign is looking pretty good. We can head on over to the next turn. We killed off the Skaven, and we're gonna have a second army here in a second, which is gonna really make things a lot better for us. Right now, the Dowier is the real end times they are. They're about to come in and end my entire existence. But we do know that Hellstorm rocket batteries counter them very nicely. So I'm not too worried about them overall. Something should happen when the stabilizer dies. Oof. I don't know about that. Everyone in chat takes a shot if I lose the stabilizer. Just copious amounts of alcohol is the only way. English is overrated when programming. Who needs to spell pointer when you can just call it PTR? Indeed, yeah. You can name anything when you're programming. Well, almost anything. Oh wait, what are we looking at? It's not that many units of cavalry. Surprisingly enough, the Hellstorm rocket batteries do actually do well against cavalry. I think it was Mercy the Mad that said that initially, way back in this campaign. So that's quite nice. At Enticity, I totally get you. Loved math and physics, hated Danish. Ah, nice. Hey, seems like well, actually, I don't know if no comment actually, but yeah, let's say it seems like there you go. Isolated Sushi's got it. This campaign is looking fine. Phil McDonald. Does that count as another shot? Oh, is that what you guys are taking shots for? Ah, I see. I see. The shots for people of little faith. Well, you know, I guess it's a nervous tick at this point, you know. Anytime I'm feeling like things are getting rough, I just say it. I'm sure I've said that phrase like at least 50 times in this campaign so far. Also, hey, we got a Flying Taco in chat. Hello, happy to have you here. Looks like you are almost back to your lost save turn timer. I know, right? We've almost redeemed ourselves, and we have about the same amount of Hellstorm rocket batteries, so seems pretty good. All right, this guy is not as tanky as I think he is. Let's go ahead and be nice and careful with him. Running for his life, and the Hellstorm rocket batteries are just gonna batter down the cavalry. If I can get my handgunners, they're just gonna scoot up to hit those. What's it? What are they called? Pegasus Knights. There we go. And then we should be just fine. Which unit size is this? It is large unit size, the same scaling that most people use for multiplayer. At Enticity, you should be nervous. The more units you name, the more units will get unnecessarily attached to. Indeed. Indeed. But you know, I've lost enough steam tanks at this point where I think the backlash isn't that bad. I think I can take the backlash of losing very important units. So, no problem. No problem in the slightest. Alright, now these handgunners are going to need to get firing. This cavalry flank is going to be quite scary. But I can do the hidden strategy of baiting the AI into making terrible decisions. Of just exposing the flanks of my spearmen. Over here on the left-hand flank, we have more spears. And it seems like the middle's holding quite well. Especially with this handgunner fire. I'm just waiting for this cavalry flank on the right side to move on in. So that I can hit them with the net. These spearmen are going to engage against the Knights Errant. We're going to bait them in with the good old expose your backs to them. Look at them. They're very tempted to engage. They smell blood in the water, but against all odds, they decide not to engage. A very, very good play on the AI's part today. Except for the fact that these guys are absolutely just doing nothing. But we'll just hit them with the net. Hit them with the artillery. And then we'll be okay. Sweet. Now who's this? Feinchantress? She's gonna get hit by the army losses soon. Looks like the cavalry is actually gonna be a bit of an issue though. Do I have another net? Not really. Let's see if I can hit them with the banishment though. At Enticity, are you a sandwich? Depends on the type of sandwich, but quite possibly. The real question though, is a hot dog a sandwich? This is where the real debate starts, guys. What's it? I played a game recently. I think it's called Wavelength, where it asks the same question. And man, oh man, I did not expect it to be super contested. But I guess I should have known. But, you know, I have my own answer. But I don't feel like alienating 50% of my audience. Protect the stabilizer at all costs? Of course. It's a named Hellblaster. At Enticity, you should name units the names of your members. Wow, okay. You know what? Isolated Sushi for that. We're gonna rename Boris to Isolated Sushi. Here we go. And that way, if I make a terrible misplay, people can just blame you for the misplays. It's perfect. I love it. The juicy back of the formation. Yep. Pop-Tart is a sandwich. A Pop-Tart. Remember, there's a graph for this, guys. Right? It's about the surround on the thing. So a Pop-Tart is, oh man. Someone knows the exact thing for it. But it's definitely not a sandwich. That I can be sure of. Is a sausage a sandwich? A sausage alone? Perhaps if I am a sandwich, I think so. Alright, now here we go. Let's see. We're gonna name this guy, what's it? Isolated Sushi. There we go. And this guy is Boris. Nice. If you ask someone for a sandwich and they give you a hot dog, you'd think that's weird. Language. That is true. That is true. But like, you know, tomatoes, right? If you ask for some veggies and someone hands you a tomato, would you think that's weird? Maybe not, right? You'd be like, oh, thanks. I needed some veggies, right? And then the technicalities start kicking in. This goes real deep, you know? If you're not careful, you're gonna insult someone. So this is like, this conversation could go on infinitely. I'm telling you right now.
No.
Keep the Vons, whatever. Sure. What's it? What was the rest of his thing? I'll copy what you typed in chat, and then if someone corrects me, then we'll do it. You Bill. Man, that's a long name. Let's see here. Vons. Sure. It'll just be Pop. For short. You guys will remember. Alright. A sliced A single sliced bread is not a sandwich, because that is just the underside. You need 2 pieces with exposed surroundings, which does make a lot of things a sandwich that you wouldn't expect. But that's just the way the world works, and you guys are gonna have to accept it. Alright, pizza's not a sandwich, obviously. We know about this. A tomato is a culinary vegetable, I guess, yeah. So... and what is a culinary sandwich, I must ask? Alright, let's see. Stand your ground's actually quite good. We're definitely going to take that. And then this guy's just going to start marching north. I don't think there's that many dwarves here. So we can afford to march north without worrying about getting obliterated. Indeed, very good. In fact, you can probably occupy that settlement. Worst case, the wood elves take it. And then that would just sort of suck. But I can live with that outcome if it happens. Alright. If you fold it, it becomes a taco. This has been discussed at great length, and I feel like that is a definitive answer. What's it? I think it's like what? If it's a full surround, it's ravioli, I believe. I believe that's a state of things. Alright, we're gonna get Sartosa soon. That's pretty hype. I cannot wait to use that as a source of income. Hopefully you can get a 4th army up and running. But that's sort of still a fever dream right now. Yeah, we'll have to be a little bit wary. But it looks like the Altdorf region is being held quite well, because really the only enemies that are coming for me are the Bretonnians. And they're overall not that difficult to beat, as long as I have my garrisons, and I'm fighting them one at a time. But if I'm not careful, they could cause a lot of issues. Oh, wait. Yes, yeah, there's calzone. There you go. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know if someone has a link to the graph, but if you post it, I don't know what happens. You might get your message removed if you post the link to the official graph on this. At Enticity, in Ireland, Subway bread has to be called cake. Really? Like, actually? That's weird. I know in Canada, chocolate bars have to be called candy bars, unless they have a certain amount of chocolate in them. Food laws. Very interesting to the right people. You don't know if chicken is a sandwich, but it's certainly lunch. But is it lunch all the time? All right. Yep, burrito is a large ravioli. If I'm remembering correctly. What's this? Income for sacking settlements. I like it. Because I do plan to sack Sartosa. Like I said, we don't need tier 4 settlements. I will happily settle for tier 3. So, there we go. That's a lot of money. Jeez, that's a lot of money. So, now we can go ahead and settle it. And then, it's going to provide some income. That's an extra, like, almost 500 gold a turn. And we don't even have the weaving houses yet. This is pretty good. We can demolish these buildings for yet another payday. We'll keep the tavern just to reduce the rebellions. But nice. Yo, this is like pretty good. We have a nice little peninsula. Is that the right word? Nice little area there for ourselves. Man, is anyone getting hungry? Suddenly I'm getting a little bit more hungry, guys. Maybe it's just me. How long have you been in negative income now? As long as I can remember. In the other timeline, we finally got to positive income. But for this one, we've been negative for quite some time. Alright, so I don't need these buildings. This is the sacrificial province. I don't plan on holding it at all because of how isolated it is. There's no way I'm going to be able to hold it. So, we're going to have none of that. The Bretonnians over here, though, are going to give so much income when we take these lands. And Franz is just going to be on a non-stop journey to run them over. What I'm worried about, though, is that these dwarves are really nearby. I could make my next army Volkmar and have him get a bunch of artillery. Perhaps. Do I want to get Volkmar here? I don't trust Volkmar to do well yet. And he's sort of there just to recruit Free Company militia. I'm going to go for a proper Archlector here. Our income's going to go up, of course, but, you know, with a couple mortars and a couple handgunners, I think this area should be quite well secured. And Franz is just going to have his work cut out for him, traveling into the south. Over here, we have the Siege of Nuln for the umpteenth time. It truly is endless. But I can't really easily get there just yet. Yeah, we're gonna have to leave Nuln for a second. I could go for Helmgart and use that as another buffer state. I could get Volkmar at Altdorf actually, and I think it's time. Okay, guys, we're going ham on the armies right now, but trust me, it's for the greater good. Ah, crap! Volkmar can't get Free Company militia here because they don't have the right building. Oh, that's a pain. I guess he'll have to settle for, what? Are we going to War Wagon stack on him? What army does he want? I guess handgunners and cavalry for now. I really want him to be my budget stack, because I don't want to burn through my money too quickly. So we'll figure something out, I guess. Oh, wait. Still talking about cakes and stuff? Cakes go hard, while biscuits go from hard to soft. Interesting, interesting. For a solid 5 minutes, you thought you guys were talking about bread sold in subways? Well, I'm sure that was part of the conversation for at least a little bit of the time. Oh, wait. Oh man, I got chat real going wild about the foodstuffs. But alright, so we have enough money to last at least, like, you know, 10-ish turns if we're fighting battles. The thing is, though, Volkmar's army is going to take a little while to actually build up. That's the unfortunate part. Helmgart is nice. It's a nicely garrisoned army, but it won't be able to hold very long without some support. And right now, I just really want a way to get some proper Free Company militia going, but this settlement basically has everything I want in it right now, and I don't plan on getting rid of the Wizards Conclave anytime soon. So I guess we just sort of settle for less. This is what we'll live with for now, until Volkmar can get proper access to Free Company militia. But yeah, our upkeep is about to get insanely expensive. France is going to have to sack a lot of these settlements. But hopefully that goes all right. To the next turn. Ooh. Where did that Tomb King's army at Alhart come from? The Tomb Kings are everywhere. It's just sort of expected. In the other campaign, they got all the way to Norska, so it's pretty crazy. Also, I did not realize Rakarth had Lightning Strike. Volkmar is screwed once it loops to the Bretonnians. He's gonna have a rough day. But, you know, he'll be back in a couple turns anyways. Get tombed on, kid. Oh, hey, Rocky Balboa with, great. Now I gotta auto-translate that on Google. Google Translate. Here we go. Enter text. Let's see. Detect language. Happy New Year. Hey, there you go. Thank you, Rocky. What's this? It's Volkmar against two casters. Can the man himself win it, or is he gonna get wrecked? We'll see. Thank you, Rocky Balboa, for the kind Happy New Year. I feel like I have to say Happy New Year every hour, because like as time goes on, more and more people will be in 2022. Exciting, very exciting. The legions are endless, but our own forces are rather endless too. I feel like, you know, we put up a pretty good fight. Alright, what are we looking at here? Just some casters against Volkmar himself. He is on foot. And oh my goodness, Volkmar's gonna die to some basic Bretonnian casters. That is just devastating. Wow, Volkmar. Jeez, Volkmar, what happened, man? You were supposed to be a fighter. My goodness. Poor guy. Well, he's gone for a while. Ugh. Might be worth getting a Lord with the sack plus modifiers. That would be a good idea. It's too bad I don't have one. He sent English to the other person. Nice. 3.5 hours until New Year's here in Germany. Yo, hype. Hype. I won't be streaming for another 3.5 hours, so I'll give you the Happy New Year's right now while we're here. Enticity. The New Year's wishes will stabilize in a few hours. Don't worry. Yep. As with all things, it will stabilize. Yeah, Volkmar got bullied hard. Did you see the stats on those casters? They were basically dwarf rune lords with those combat buffs. But you know, it means I can focus more of my funds on this army, this bad boy with his million artillery pieces. He's getting ready for the dwarf stack, essentially. Those dwarves are coming in hot, and if I don't get ready for them, I will be doomed. So I really do need a lot of artillery and handguns to survive. Meanwhile, over here, dwarves are just camping behind me. They're coming up real fast. And as for Gelt, little old Gelt, what does he have? Wow, he's recruiting Hellstorm rocket batteries over here? The madman. Alright. Alright, I'll take it. I'll take it. We'll see if he can beat this guy, though. Heinz. The man himself. Quite scary. I had another army somewhere. Over here at Helmgart. Let's see. Is there an army in the distance I can slow down? Looks like that's a nada. Nothing over there. So let's go and fight Cetra. Should be fun. And look at that. It's an auto-resolve. Oh, man. Yeah, Franz is a hero now. He's finally started to make up for himself. He's made a name for himself. It's too bad Volkmar is the new Franz. As we've all seen, Volkmar is... he's not performing as well as one would hope, but... You know what happens. It's for Gelt. He's recruiting a lot of armies over there, but I think I'm confident enough to take a fight against him here. I have the Light Wizard. You know, it's not a terrible position. We got a million Hellstorm rocket batteries. We can kill infantry. I'm not particularly worried about infantry. Enticity, do you remember the first time you underestimated fighting Grimgor with your lord? The first time? That was, well, I didn't see Grimgor until quite a while in the campaign, right? It didn't go very well, but that is true. I do like underestimating things very often. Oh, wait. Let's see this. Let's explore the island. Hey, it's the first Vampire Coast battle, and they're gone. Poor guys. Did I get any money, though? I did. 8,000 gold. That's quite good, actually. Sweet. So Franz is going to get ready to start occupying the Bretonnian lands over here. Hopefully they are not currently deployed there, and I can basically have my way with them. In the meantime, we'll check up on Chaos. Place your bets. Where's Chaos? Strength rank 10. They are only slightly stronger than Gelt, which puts them at about 1 or 2 armies at best, really. Maybe 2.5 armies. So Chaos is more or less done for at this point. Enticity, just curious. Where do you see your channel in the next year? Goals and plans. Wow, okay, well that's it's getting real deep there. I think my channel's going to be in a pretty good place over the next year. Warhammer, I expect it to do quite well over the next couple of years with, you know, DLCs along the way and so on. I think things are going to be quite nice for the channel. As for me, like, I plan to, at the very least, continue this for another, for at least another 6 months because of recent funding and so on. So even if things start going terribly south, I'll be able to stick around for that time. And yeah, overall that's sort of the plan. Just hanging out and continuing to grow and hopefully becoming one of those staple YouTubers that people hear about. And then after that, you know, if once Warhammer's finally done, I'll have to figure out a way to transition into something. But that's like really far future plans. Definitely longer than a year from now. But yeah, overall pretty exciting. As you guys know, I am a rather optimistic person. It's not just a random persona. I am overall, I'd say I'm quite optimistic in real life too. So I think things are going to be great. I think my life right now is in a very decent position, guys. This is the best position it's ever been in. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next turn. Turn on the lights so that I'm not covered in darkness. Enticity, do you have a favorite demon faction? Tzeentch, for sure, because of the ranged firepower. And then actually Khorne after that, because I feel like there's a lot of hidden potential. You love ketchup? It's... Yeah, ketchup's great. Are you just saying ketchup in general, or my lord? What's it? With Warhammer 3 coming... oh, yeah. If Warhammer 3 is bad for the channel, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Yeah, Warhammer 3 is going to be great for it. Are you hoping to do this full-time and long-term? Yes. I would like to do gaming and streaming for as long as I possibly can. Most gaming careers do not last that long. Like 4 years, even for really big channels that get like millions of views. 4 years is the rough timeline to expect. But I'm being quite methodical about my approach. So I think if I can manage to last longer than 4 years, I would call that a win. And worst case scenario, I go back to programming, which is, you know, my other dream job. So it's not like if the YouTube career falls apart, things sort of go south. I'll be fine sort of regardless, but I would really like to keep this up as long as I possibly can. And I'm doing all the stats I need to do to try and maintain that. Now let's see. This is basically just a hold the center type situation. So we'll just sort of play it like that. We'll just hold the center. But yeah, that's sort of the idea. Yeah, carefully crafted persona to attract the viewers. Actually, you know, in real life, I sort of lucked my way into being good for advertisers because I just never developed a habit for swearing. I generally like to keep the positive attitude overall because I grew up watching Day 9, which has been very convenient when it comes to, you know, sponsorships and so on. So I feel like I've lucked into this partially too. But a little bit of hard work goes a long way also. Diego still talking about bread and pizza. For me, I gotta say, I enjoy pineapple on my savory foods. I enjoy pineapple on fried rice and on pizza alike. Feel free to judge me as much as you wish. Are you a CS major? CS specialist? Like it matters. But yes, I studied computer science in university as my main course. So I can say I'm quite proficient at it. Which is why I want CA to make programming the AI possible, because that would be great. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to win this battle. It's not exactly an easy battle to win. Most of these guys are just goblins, but like, I don't know. That lord over there is going to be a bit of a pain. Really depends on how well my crossbowmen do here. I guess we'll go normal speed and start cycle charging. Unsubscribed. I'm willing to take unsubscribes on my stance on pineapple. I'll take it. It's a worthy loss. Like, I enjoy a lot of really weird food, you know? There's only like a handful of food that really repulses me. But overall, you know, I'll eat whatever. Mac, Windows, or Linux? I've been Windows since I was a kid, so I'm sort of used to Windows. Even though I know there's like a lot of other programs that are great for programming, but you know, Windows has games and so on, so that's why I'm here. Now that you mentioned it, you want nothing more than to see me swearing on stream. Like, it won't get me, you know, instantly demonetized if I swear. it's just, it's gone to the point where it's really awkward for me to swear at all. Just because I've never developed the habit. I do not know how to swear. Which is sometimes awkward when you're just talking to people normally and you want to reference, like, I don't know, a movie where someone swears. And then it just feels really weird. I don't know. I don't have anything against swearing, by the way. You know, if you guys want to swear in chat, go wild. I think there's no problem over there. But as for me, probably less so. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. Pineapple on pizza is a meme? How dare you, Goran? How dare you? Get out of here. My goodness. Alright, now my knights are doing quite well. These archers are going to be a bit of a problem, but it seems like I've dealt with most of the melee infantry, so I can probably just run them down with my cavalry at this point. Let's go ahead and do that. Go on, Enticity, say bum, and work your way up from there. Alright. You know, what's it? I think British swearing is a little bit more comfortable for me. It doesn't really have the same impact because I was raised here in Canada. So, you know, I'm much more fine saying British swear words, if that helps at all. Someone just saying Hail Chaos in chat? Sure, sure. I'm okay with saying that too, I guess, in a sense. Alright. You love how energetic I am on stream? I am fueled by the energy of people in chat. So, you know, there you go. God's wounds. Wow. Yeah, let's go with let's start with like ancient swearing. Let's go with like you know, some Roman swears. You know, I'll bite my thumb at people. Sure, I can do that. Yeah. We'll stay away from any of the religious stuff though. We'll stick with, you know, Sigmar and that, but we won't go IRL religious stuff for obvious reasons. As a Spaniard, you cannot conceive speaking without swearing. Nice, nice. You didn't swear until you got your first girlfriend. Ooh, is that what won her over? Is that the pro strat for girlfriend? I don't want to say acquiring. That sounds weird, but you guys know what I mean. Yeah, by Sigmar. Golly G and so forth. Ah, yes, Golly G. You know, if I say that too much, YouTube's just gonna delete me from the entire platform. You gotta be real careful. You're British and you use worse swear words than the USA. I see. Canadian swear culture is very similar to the US, I would assume. Canadian culture and US culture is actually very, very similar. Yeah, I sort of treat it as basically the same. In the Netherlands, you have hundreds of ways to swear about the weather. Really, it's just the weather specifically? That's amazing. I love that. Alright, now let's see. I still gotta hit up these archer boys. Like, the greenskins have sort of picked away at my, at all of my melee infantry as the battle has gone on. It's made things a little bit rough, but I think we just barely won this one. Thankfully. Interesting, interesting. Alright, I'm not judging, Boo Radley. But, you know, like, honestly, whatever works, right? The Dutch are, one of the few people that swear with diseases. Interesting, alright. I won't inquire more about that. Well, actually, you know, feel free to lay them out in chat. You know, chat is a free-for-all, so you guys can really go wild there. Yeah. And, you know, if you guys go too far, then mods will get ya, but overall, I'm pretty lenient about chat. You call people diseases for fun. Nice, nice. That's interesting. I guess that sort of makes sense, right? You know, you just, like, swear words overall, they come from taboos, generally. So, you know, diseases, obviously, can be quite rough, as we all know. So I can totally see how they, how that's an endless source of swearing. Nice, nice. You learn more in these chats than you do in 3 years of college. Ah, yes, yeah, no. The school system, if I may complain about the education system, in Canada at the very least, and probably America too. It does feel a little bit more like a filter than an actual full-on education type situation. Of course, you can learn a lot from school, but you also learn a lot of things that aren't very useful. You also don't learn a lot of life skills in school. I feel like it could be, to put it lightly, I think there's room for improvement for many education systems. Yeah. But you know, we all get by it and end up as decent people in society. And as long as we get there, I think school has more or less done its job. Whew. Yeah, everyone was thinking it, right? Medanderer. Also, hey, Medanderer. Hello. Welcome back to the stream. Happy to have you here. Alright, let's see. How is this fight going? This is like a little bit of a sketchy fight, right? Let's see. There's still a rock lobber crew over here. Thankfully, they're out of ammo. I think a couple more volleys from these crossbowmen and we should have a victory. Enticity, how did you cope with having to learn Java in college? Actually, I learned Java in high school. In college or university here, we learned in Python, which was way easier than what I learned in high school, which was Java. But then they also taught me JavaScript, which is basically programming for online websites, and that was a lot more of a pain. I actually really don't like coding for websites. But you know, that's just sort of a personal preference. Yes, we're ranting about education, that's right. It's time, it's one of those days. Yep. I don't think, you know, I don't know how many people are just ecstatic about the education. I don't think I've met a single person that has been like, the education in my country is amazing and I love it and there's nothing to improve. I don't think there's a lot of people that have that sentiment, but you know, chat generally has a lot of people, so I'm willing to be surprised. You hated designing websites? Yeah, it's a lot of like busy work, right? It's not a lot of problem solving. But it, you know, that is what programming is like once you actually leave college/university. So that's sort of what happens. Anticity, JavaScript is infinitely better than the hellscape that is Java's OOP. Yeah, you know, pluses and minuses. I just don't like websites in general. Anticity, what would you recommend Java to be a suitable introduction for programming? Yes and no. I think Java has enough complexity to it that it still shows, unlike Python, to really let you sort of understand what's going on exactly underneath the hood. But I think if you're gonna start programming, honestly, starting with Python is probably the best thing to do instead of bothering yourself learning Java and all of its intricacies. Oh, right. And I'm missing a lot of messages, by the way. Sorry if I miss any of them. Phil McDonald saying, education in the UK often feels more like introduction in favor of a very specific type of liberal capitalism. Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, sort of one thing that school is good for, it's really good for teaching, for showing people what they enjoy doing. For many people, they learn what they like doing in school. So on that side, it could be, you know, it's useful there. But yeah, Python's great. I'd highly recommend Python overall as like a real basics thing. You know, in Python, you can, it's very straightforward. Oh man, C and C++, very, so here's an analogy for anyone who hasn't done programming, and I'll do my best to make a good analogy. When you think about the difference between Python, oh, and there was a really good Reddit post on this earlier, where I think they said Python is like, what's it? Oh man, they compared programming languages to guns. I don't know if that post is still around, but if it is, you guys should definitely check it out on Reddit. But essentially, imagine you're a woodworker, right? You know, or a blacksmith even. Let's say you're a blacksmith. You know, lots of people are watching blacksmith channels nowadays anyways. So, if you're a blacksmith, You could work in, you could code in Python, which is basically, you buy your own workshop, right? You have tons of really good tools. Everything's very straightforward, right? It's overall a pretty good time. Or, you can go sort of the Java style, right? Which is sort of similar to that, but, the tools are a little bit more complicated. And then you have stuff that's like C. C programming is sort of like the woodworker that makes all of his own tools, right? So he can specialize really well for, like you can really specialize for what type of job you want to do. But you're also making all of your own tools, which can be quite annoying. And then you have assembly, which is basically ones and zeros, where you're not even making your own tools. You don't have a house. You're in the middle of the woods, and you have to make your own workshop out of twigs, essentially, in the middle of the woods. It's like basically, what's that guy that lives in the primitive technology? Yeah, you're going full primitive technology, where you just make everything from scratch. And that is what assembly is. And that is how people programmed when programming was initially a thing, which is insane to me. We landed on the moon basically with that level of programming. Just like real basic stuff. Where they landed on the moon with essentially just magnet programming. But people got by, so there's different programming for everyone, to put it shortly. Or to put it simply anyways. How many people are going to use assembly though? Well, nowadays, if you use assembly, you're actually insane. But, because, once someone learns how to make a chisel, you don't have to make things out of sticks anymore, right? You can start, leveling yourself up. And at this point, there's enough workshops out there where you don't need to start with assembly. Most people start with C because it, you want a lot of specialized tools. I think Warhammer is programmed in C actually, because to optimize the game, they do need to sort of start at a more bare bones level to make sure that the game's very optimized. Otherwise, with all these units on the screen, it would be lagging quite a bit. But yes, if you're learning how to program, do not start with C. Please do not start programming with C. That is just absolute torment. It is not a fun program to start with. Also, I lost my Bright Wizard while trying to come up with an analogy for different programming. Whoopsie daisies, but we didn't need them anyways. Yes, people who work with C are wizards. And C++ is basically C as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Like, working with C is like you start with just a saw, like a basic hand saw, and you gotta make everything else from scratch. And there's like, a few tools out there and so on, but it's a pain. It's a pain. Like, if you want nails, right? If you think about a carpenter, you can make your own nails or you can buy nails. Obviously, if you make your own custom made, they'll be really nice, but most people should just buy their own nails. That sort of idea. You started with C yourself? Oh man, I know better. Fits your namesake. See, at Enticity, you didn't lose the stabilizer, did you? I don't think I did. I don't think we've lost a Hellstorm rocket battery yet, thankfully. We're gonna need another turn to actually get to this settlement. The dwarves are coming too. Nolan is down. But I think we're gonna hit Gelt very soon. How big is his army? He has 3 settlements left. Guys, the end of Gelt has begun. All I gotta do is make sure I don't accidentally lose Altdorf. This guy can be on the Altdorf defense. And this guy's gonna be on the end Gelt train. Here we go. Let's finish him off. Oh man, this is it. This is it. This has been a long time coming, guys. Real long time. At Enticity, mage buildings in Warhammer should be renamed to Stack Overflow. I like it. I like it. Yep. Yes, yeah. Python is Python will work. Python will work quite well. The thing is, it sort of encourages bad habits, but you know, what can you do? No programming language is perfect. Yeah, there's wrought nails, cast and wire nails. Oh, that's a historical order for them. Sick. Speaking of, has anyone seen that YouTube video recently of the guy that, you know, he's like the nails that don't split wood? Did anyone see that recently? I feel like that was recently recommended to a bunch of random people. Your first 4 years of programming was in C, and then you got a job in advertising C++. I see, I see. Pun not intended, my bad. Alright, let's get these guys lined up. Get these guys lined up. Alright. This is not going to be a very complicated siege, because right now I'm still catching up with chat. I'm talking about programming. Has anyone used Rust yet? Oh man, I think I heard about it. I never used Rust. See, the thing about programming, people that program, there's multiple layers of wizardry. Because you also have people that program, what's it, functional programming? Oh, yeah, functional and logical programming are completely different beasts. And I still don't know how they work fully. I did learn a little bit of functional programming and it seemed pretty cool. Same with logical. But like, man, it's weird. I don't even have an analogy for it. It's just real weird. Alright, where were we? Yes, I was winning the siege battle on autopilot. At Enticity, did you hear about the Slavs who hacked Intel CPUs at the machine code level? I did not. That sounds pretty crazy, but yeah, hacking is insane just because, you know, hacking is basically the fun of abusing campaign AI, except instead of campaign AI, it's someone's home PC. Which is a little bit terrifying, but also really interesting. Let's see, I should probably get my handgunners up here at this point. Yeah, let's do that. Functional programming is overhyped, perhaps, but I still don't know much about it. Alright, let's see. So my lord is taking a lot of damage from this Griswold type guy over here. I'm going to need to deal with him at some point, and I think it's going to be my handgunners that end up doing the job. Let's see. I need to get another banishment over here. Heinz is actually going to be taking a bit of damage, which is not always really wanted. But he's a bit stuck right now, so I'm going to bail him out with the banishment and then try and get him out of there. Oh wait, at Enticity, in newer versions of C++. Oh, what the? This guy's just going ham. He's taken off into the air. Well, he just signed his death sentence. Good old handgunner crossfire. Just deleting him off the face of the planet. I'd like to see it. Let's see, in newer versions of C++, you can use it for functional programming. Wow, of course they would do that, wouldn't they? My goodness. But alright, so this battle's quite good. I think we've gone over enough programming for now. Man, I'm surprised how many Luminarchs Gelt has been spamming, though. Is this normal? Does the Empire AI usually just go ham on the Luminarchs? It feels like an odd choice, but you know, I guess it is in my benefit. Except for the fact that they love sniping my wizards, apparently. My goodness. Let's go ahead and make sure we're continuously dodging that. Alright. And then we're gonna try and snipe out the last of the Luminarchs. Wow, and we miss. But looks like army loss is gonna get them anyways. Sweet. Cannot wait for the siege rework. Oh, yes. The different tiers of high ground levels. Oh, my goodness. Siege rework is gonna be sick. It's gonna be so sick. Oh, my goodness. You guys have me hyped about Warhammer 3 again? And we're not even getting news for, like, forever. I think I saw on Reddit that news is second week of next month, and someone in chat said the same too. So, yeah. Oh, man. I'm just twiddling my thumbs, waiting to get more news on more gameplay now that all the factions are revealed. but it's still gonna be a while. Luminarchs are high tier, high cost units. Infinite balance of power. I see. I don't blame them. Now, you might be wondering, why am I taking Marienburg at tier 3? I don't think I'm actually gonna hold it for very long. You know, I've learned my lesson. You can't expect to hold everything. So tier 3 is gonna be my default. And the Hellstorm rocket batteries can sort of come from one place. Alright, now for, whoa, to land in a way where you can attack the city immediately. The best way to do that, wow, that's a good one. The best way to do that is to make sure that you're sort of right up parallel against the coastline. Otherwise, you might land over here and then you can't attack the city immediately. But you can see he goes right up beside it and then you can attack it right away. So quite good. Quite good. We'll go ahead and sack it. It means I can't resettle it, but that's fine. I can take it next turn. Over here, we have this guy. Solomon. He's going to continue his handgunner doom stack. And then I think we're ready to get to the next turn. And we still have like over 10 turns of economy left. So honestly, I feel pretty comfortable here. We got no AI that we need to fight. Sartosa can get upgraded. Oh my goodness. Guys, this campaign's looking great. This campaign's looking as good as it was where we left off. We got tons of armies. We're surrounded by dwarves. It's basically the same situation. So I'm going to end turn. I'm going to go quick restroom break. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, everyone. I'll be back in 1 minute. Alright, and I'm back. Hello! Alright, what are we looking at? It's this battle to auto-resolve. What I missed? Do I speak another language? Oh, no, I don't know. Am I saying that right? I've never spoken Chinese on stream, actually, but... Yes, I can speak Chinese, but it's really bad. I can speak Chinglish. It's a mix. It's a mix. Sorry, man, my accent was terrible there too, because I'm not used to speaking Chinese on stream, but aside from that, I don't know how to speak Vietnamese, despite my parents coming from Vietnam. But, you know, whatever. I technically know French, but not in a way that is useful in the slightest. Sounds like another language, yeah. At Enticity, does supply lines apply to the AI? I think it does, but I'm not entirely sure to what extent. Man, look at the dwarves in the corner, though. They have, like, a lot of territory. My goodness. Alright, here we go. Got the Tomb King's army over here. We got the Gelt army up here. I would like to take out Gelt this turn before he causes Marienburg any issues. Man, this Tomb King's army. We can lightning strike though. That helps. Brazilian Portuguese is more difficult than Chinese. I think I've heard that Chinese is a pretty straightforward language to learn, actually. All right. Ooh, I can go for the decisive victory here. That's not too bad. Oh man, but if I occupy it, if I sack it, it's at a lower level. This is actually sort of a crummy situation here. Because I want to head back to Marienburg. I guess we'll have to settle for the sack. There's no useful way to know French. Dang. Dang, that's rough. It's brutal, man. Alright. Let's start reinforcing Marienburg. Let's go to Heinz. It's gonna finish off this army over here. Gelt is down to 1 settlement, guys. This is a stream where Gelt meets his maker. My goodness, after about a month's worth of campaign, our neighbor is finally getting finished off. Who would have guessed it? Alright, meanwhile, France can deal with this. We're gonna get the Occupy down. We're gonna take a look at the immediate surroundings. It seems like there's a lot less Bretonnia here than I had initially thought. It's actually a mix of dwarves and tomb kings, so basically the same up here as up here, which means that any fights I win down here will also help me up in the north too. Actually, that's a pretty good position to be in. Got this guy. He can. We'll make sure he gets a full 20 stack going, and I'm gonna give him Pistoliers for that extra distraction action. All right. What's going on in chat? Is Franz still out there having fun? He is. He is. Against all odds, Franz has not gone obliterated yet. Like that Empire captain. Who else do I got? Ubel. Scout him out. Alright, nothing too scary to the north. Over here, we got... Oh, Prince Sigvald is there. Okay. Sure, I'll take it. And, alright, nice. So scouting went pretty well. Sartosa's doing aight. Garrison is building up over there. Yeah, this is actually a really good position, guys. The amount of money we have is insane. Actually insane. 150,000 gold. So we're set for 10 turns. Not to mention we're constantly sacking. We'll be getting even more income off of the settlement soon. This is it. Alright, now what does this guy want? I don't really need Logician. Recruitment is quite nice though. Artillery Master. Very cool. And then I could go into sort of his yellow line to make him a bit tankier. I guess I will, but I will buff up his spears just in case I take him. Oh, I guess I should buff up the Empire's Finest thing too. Yeah, let's do it like this. So now his spears are a little bit better. Now his artillery's a little bit better. Yeah, he doesn't need a yellow line tree, it's fine. Doubt we win most campaigns, but in yours, Grimgor wins the most. It's sort of a mixed bag. It can go either way depending on how you influence things. Oh, what the? Jeez, okay. Apparently Chaos showed up to end Rakarth's sort of settlements over there. Speaking of Chaos, that is a chosen 20 stack with 2 Manticores. Wow. Alright. Feels like we found Okai over there. But alright. I think over here in the south we're looking really good. Our terrain spread is really awkward, but not terrible actually. Yeah, it's not too terrible. Alright. Next turn. Oh, right. Anti-France jokes at German propaganda. Is that what started it all? Some cool history. If true. All right. So, Nuln is actually back. We're gonna have to finish them off at some point. Thankfully, it's just a tier 1 settlement. They're not particularly scary. Wulfric has gone Corone, so I'll have to deal with that. Enchantress in the meantime with the peasant 20 stack. Let's go ahead and fight this battle. Thankfully, it's not a million Grail Knights, so that's definitely a big plus. And honestly, I'm wondering which settlements the Grail Knights are coming from. Because if we can get rid of that settlement and shut down the Grail Guardians for Bretonnia, that essentially neuters them and makes them a non-threat for the rest of the campaign. Oh, alright, man, we're going like deep into the history now. Alright, I'll stay out of that conversation. I guess mods can just keep an eye on it for now. Now, these peasants, they can be pretty annoying, but generally the strategy you want to do against them. For one, I'll move my knights on the outside to run them down. And then after they climb the walls, essentially I just move in with my infantry and just run them over. They can't get a clear line of sight on these guys if they're hiding like this. So that should be able to keep these guys safe. So let's try it out. Oh, right. Artillery can't hit them just yet, but we'll get them in a second. All right. You keep getting this as well in your very hard campaigns. Yeah, Bretonnia is a mix between insanely deadly Grail Knight stacks or just Peasant Bowman stacks. It's a thing that Bretonnia will do. Now, the kiting here for these archers will actually be a little bit annoying because they, whoa, that was some lag, jeez. I guess those ladders deploying was a bit too much for my PC or something. But yeah, the Bretonnian archers, they'll go down to my knights. It seems like the leadership is actually a lot lower than I'm used to. So that's definitely a small plus. Ah, yes, the good old... Can I get it to spin? Nah, not this time. But yeah, the archers, they're going to be dealt with pretty nicely. I guess I can move up with my crossbowmen since the archers are much less of a threat now. And then we should be fine. Alright. So how do you guys feel about a Warhammer World War I? Do you think like see, the thing is, Total War games, and I don't mean Warhammer World War I, I mean Total War World War I. Would that actually work? Because most of the times they go pretty historical on their for their games. And I feel like I'm ready to see, like, you know, like they had Napoleon, right? Total War Napoleon. So I feel like ranged heavy gameplay could be featured pretty well. But then you don't really have formations when it comes to World War I, which really does muck things up a little bit. There's a mod for that? Oh, interesting. How is it? Is it actually a good mod, or is it garbage? Warhammer World War I. That's true, it could be really static, yeah. It's not like a very glorified stage of warfare, unlike, you know, the usual medieval and Renaissance and so on. That's very true. It sort of would be a completely different game. But then the big question, like, can they pull off Warhammer 40k? I know there is a lot of melee in 40k, so it's not like 40k is going to be like Napoleon or anything, but it's definitely going to be quite different, right? A lot of hybrid units for sure, and that will likely change some things up. It'll be like everyone's Kislev. It's a Napoleon mod? I see. I see. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, gamifying World War I. Yeah, that does run into a lot of issues. I can see CA not wanting to dig into that bag, just based on what I'm seeing in chat right now. Probably something they would want to avoid. Yeah, maybe, you know, maybe like, it takes time. It takes time for those things to become less of a hot topic. Maybe in 100 years or something. Lord of the Rings Total War, yeah, that mod is pretty cool. I doubt CA would ever get the IP for Lord of the Rings, but it would be cool. I remember Tabletop Warhammer, or like, for Tabletop Games Workshop, they had a Lord of the Rings sort of a game thing. That was actually my first set that I ever got from Games Workshop. The first minis I ever got was Lord of the Rings box, like starter kit. It came with a few orcs, I think, and like that was basically it. Yeah, there is already a Battlefield 1, but it's not like exactly something that, you know, companies are drooling to make. Alright, let's see. I hope we can defend this. Do we have walls here? Oh, we have Pistoliers. Yeah, we're fine. You think CA is not ready to make a 40k game yet? I don't know. Well, like, they're just finishing up Warhammer 3. So 40k, if it exists, would only be in like its early production phases right now. Like, I would not expect a 40k game for at least like, you know, like half a decade down the line. And I think other content creators are also saying the same thing. So unfortunately, it means 40k is going to be a ways away, but if we do eventually get it, that would be pretty hype. Alright, so the Pistoliers, they are really important for killing these heroes here. The Killers of Volkmar. It's 2 damsels. They have basically no missile resist, thankfully, so looks like they're going to be going down real fast, the Pistoliers. Ooh, that was a spicy dodge. Alright, and then we can go ahead and take this one out. She's on a horse, very little armor. So there we go, Pistoliers. Very easy kill on her. Man, and I can't believe Volkmar lost to this. My goodness, what a shame. Keyboard just arrived, no more Q-tips. Amazing, nice. I'm happy that plot line got closed today. I'd like to see CA take on Dawn of War. Ah, like a completely new IP. Now that seems like a risky endeavor for CA. A new IP and going for 40k? I feel like we won't be getting both of those at the same time. Maybe one of them. An Age of Sigmar Total War, I would say, would be pretty hype. Despite the sort of the story, like the beginning of Age of Sigmar was pretty janky. But I feel like overall, as a concept, it's still pretty cool. And in a Total War game, I feel like that'd be a really nice way to get into the lore of Age of Sigmar to sort of appreciate it a bit more. So I feel like, yeah, like that could be pretty cool. Although 40k would very much be a lot more hype. Yeah, congratulations on the new spacebar, Boo Radley. Certainly possible to do a Total War 40k. You just need a new engine, to be honest. You could probably work with the same engine and have pretty good results. Also, Lizardmen are showing up. That's terrifying. You're gonna have to deal with those guys one way or another. But first things first, let's go ahead and take the settlement back. Let's see, fire damage. Mildly useful on handgunners. If only it was Warhammer 3, then we could hurt their regeneration, but you know, whatever. And nice, just a pretty simple army to take out, I think. On Enticity, any thoughts about the wound mechanic in Warhammer 3 for single entities and how it might impact multiplayer? Well, overall for single player, I think it makes basically no difference, but for multiplayer, I think it will. If slows stack the same way that they do currently, in that they're additive, it means that single entities that are low on HP will be a lot more susceptible to slows. And that plays a really big part, especially for units that have a base slow amount, specifically the ROR Slayers. It's gonna be really good, because it means that you can't disengage from the Slayers in the late game, unless you're really healed up. Which is really big, like, as a flat base thing, that's a slight buff for the dwarves at the very least. So I think it's going to have some pretty nice implications. Cycle charging will be a little bit weaker, but like overall, I don't think it's going to explode the game or anything. Just that it will definitely have an impact. Fire and magic are so powerful in Warhammer 3 for sure, for sure. But you know, it's the chaos. It is the chaos sort of game, so magic we would definitely expect to be quite strong. What I'm really interested in right now is how the deflect missiles ability is gonna work for Cathay. That one seems very interesting, but I don't know sort of the mechanics of it. That's something that I'll really want to dig into as soon as I have access. Lizardmen don't really need a rework. I think they're sort of in a good position right now. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Lizardmen in the slightest, actually. Alright, so that's the heroes down. I think the Pistoliers are getting a little bit caught up there. Have to be a tiny bit careful. This terrain is not especially favorable for me. I think I'm gonna have to pivot here to find a little bit of a better position. Alright, as for my Lord, as usual, he's gonna go and chase down those handgunners. Get them running out of here. And then the Pistoliers can probably help a little bit too, why not? Dowie need a buff? They do, actually. The thing is, Dowie are really good against newer players, but they're really bad at the highest level, which puts them in a really strange situation because then how do you balance Dowie in a way that doesn't make it just a terrible experience for new players hopping into the game? It's a bit of a predicament. I don't think it's, you know, I think it's definitely solvable, but it's definitely a bit of a predicament. Alright, how are my Pistoliers doing? They're doing alright. My handgunners are getting a tiny little bit engaged. I'm gonna need to finish off the Lord here if possible. The mortars are doing okay. But I think it's time I retarget here onto my Lord. Sorry for the bright colors. And alright, handgunners are going to fire in on those great swords now. Nice, looks like their general is very nearly down, but he's just barely keeping it together. I might need to do a bit of a kite back action here, we'll see. Alright. What's it? Undead suck versus life mages? What do you mean? Just in general or what? Alright, let's see. I am going to actually pull back here real quick. This is usually the time when the battle starts going south, when I have to start retreating with my artillery. But at least this time I have Pistoliers, and they'll be able to put a good amount of hurting on their Lord, hopefully finishing him off. It seems like he has some regeneration, which explains why he was a little bit tankier than I thought. But without any mobility, my handgunners should be able to clean up here. I just have to let these Pistoliers do their work. What is a bit of a problem, though, is that my Lord is taking a lot of damage, and this guy's healing a lot. What does he have? He has regeneration, and apparently that's it, but he's healing like crazy. Jeez. I'm gonna need to deal with him soon before he patches himself up. If I can get him to rout, I definitely want to chase him off the battlefield. Alright. Oh man, he stabilizes too. That's pretty rough. Okay, well, let's continue pulling back over here. Looks like Pistoliers are doing alright. My Lord is getting caught up in a few units of halberds, which is pretty rough. But at least over here, I think my handgunners are about to be freed up. Now, just to make sure that my Lord doesn't die, I'm going to try and free him up by sacrificing a few Pistoliers. It's a worthy sacrifice. One that must be made. And there we go. I think he should be able to just barely squeeze through. And then we're gonna try and finish off the enemy Lord here. This is definitely a dicey battle, though. But as long as my handgunners can properly kite on this hill, we'll be okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. How low is he? 300 HP. Is he level 20? I hope he's level 20. Because if he's not and I lose him, that's a lot of levels we're about to lose. Alright, I think we at least chase off those handgunners, so my Lord should be okay. Looks like my handgunners here are doing really well. Alright, sweet. Sweet, where's the enemy general? He's over here. He's quite low. A single volley might be able to take him out, but his resistances have been helping him quite a bit, it seems. Let's just try and position our 3 handguns and hope that a single volley can take him out. If not, we'll have to finagle around a tiny bit. All right. Looks like he's not engaging just yet. That's actually a pretty smart move on the AI's part. There we go. Let's just target fire him and try to shoot him through the woods. All right. What's this? Medanderer? You're talking about some head-to-head stuff, some problems with the what's it? With campaigns in general. I feel you. It can be a little bit weird, but for me, you know, I generally like just the problem-solving aspect of campaigns instead of the general strategizing, which is sort of different. Problem-solving is sort of different from strategizing, where I'm sort of more fine with having a more limited solution set to problems, but that is, of course, very specific to me. So I definitely don't expect other people to enjoy playing the game like so. But yeah, it's sort of my personal preference. It's sort of how I've always played Warhammer. Actually, I've always sort of liked trying to figure out how to beat difficult challenges. But alright, am I actually gonna win this fight? This is getting a little bit close with those handgunners starting to shoot at me now. I think these 3 healthy units of handgunners should be able to keep me safe. Plus I have the Outriders too, but it's definitely a little bit close of a call here. Let's see what, there's about 3 units of handgunners left that I need to manage here. Those guys are routing. I'm going to retarget because they're going to be routing for a while, so there's no point wasting ammo on them while things are still pretty spicy here. Pistoliers look like they're doing great. And all right, I think we're good. I think we've properly secured the win here. Man, I forgot how brutal it can be to not have a caster in these fights. But it looks like we're good. We'll chase off these guys with our artillery crews now. And then it's just like, what, 1 more unit of great swords, and then I'll be okay. Ooh, alright. My goodness. What a fight. That was actually a pretty fun one, although I thought it would have been a lot easier given how many mortars I had. Alright, thank you, Ramen. Yep, lots and lots of micro. Alright. So pretty good fight. Pyrrhic victory, I'll take it. Oh, I don't think we lost any units though. That's a big plus. And as long as there's not another army, we'll be okay. Poor Khorne in the ranged meta. That is true. Although Khorne does have a mobile hell cannon. I think Khorne is actually in a fairly safe place when it comes to fielding range units. Not to mention he has units of dogs, and as we've established, dog units are very, very strong if given enough micro. So Khorne might be in an okay position. That's sort of why I'm excited to try him out the most. I feel like there's some, good opportunities there. But alright, so we have the lizard men coming in. They're gonna be a little bit scary.
They will be judged.
Let's see, is it worth repairing this building just yet? Maybe not. It's a very expensive repair. You know what, I'll do it just because why not? And then let's see, what do we got? We got some Bretonnians. Nice. We can finish off Gelt. Finally, my arch nemesis over here at Grungzint. I should be able to take him out here. Nice. We'll go with the decisive victory. We're gonna sack the settlement, and then we're gonna finish off the rest of these armies while they're sort of separated. Hopefully it's some easy auto resolves. Ah, but they still have a retreat. I forgot about that. Oh man, that makes Gelt a little bit more annoying to finish off then. Yeah, because he's just gonna spam retreat. My goodness, Gelt. Why'd you gotta be so difficult? Still though, we'll have him out in the next turn. At Enticity, how do you keep it? How do you keep it so funky yet tastefully fresh? Huh, I don't know how to answer that one. But you know, I guess it comes naturally. Is that a terrible answer to that? Maybe. But I don't know. This is just how I play. I'm not doing anything particularly special here. But alright, so he's looking good over there. Franz in the south is gonna have some fun conquering. There is a lot of good territory here. We're gonna punish the Bretonnians very hard. And we're not too worried about holding these settlements for a very long time. It is only Franz, of course. So it's not like you can easily hold a lot of territory. It's basically just gonna be constant sacking and occupying to sort of just ruin the Bretonnian economy is the main goal. And then just to get a bit of extra money while we're here. All right, yeah, Itza is coming. They're coming in real hot, so that's gonna be something to worry about slightly. But still not the end of the world. Over here, what do we got? Some dwarves, some Nuln. Rakarth is going ham. Is he at war with anyone here? He's at war with the elves and some Norskins, so that's all right for me. I think as a chaos distraction, Rakarth is doing all right. Also, Chaos has been just butchering the Bretonnians over here, so I think the Bretonnians might be dealt with. I'll have to explore a tiny bit more, but the Bretonnians might not be too much of a problem for very much longer. Okay, how is the Marienburg garrison looking? Pretty rough, actually. I'm gonna put this guy in there just to be safe. You remember Warriors of Chaos players using hounds to play Warhammer 2? Yeah, I think that's basically gonna be Khorne's playstyle. Lots of dogs, and then a few hell cannons probably. Wow, we failed on the 8% chance. Brutal. Oh wait, meanwhile, Talean is actually doing really well for itself. Nice. This is looking real good, guys. I think the Bretonnians are off the battlefield. The dwarves are still fighting greenskins. So I have this sort of line right here, just a straight line up and down. So can I enable thing? No, I can't. Yeah, but I basically have a straight line up and down, and then I can expand over here towards the right hand side, take over the Badlands, take over the desert, and then secure this corner of the map. And then that way I'll have this gigantic chunk of land to support most of my armies. That's the plan anyways. I'm sure on many of the fronts things are going to go very south momentarily. But that will have to wait until we actually find some issues. Not to mention the lizardmen showing up cause a bit of an issue too. They might start conquering some territory. But if I ward them off, that should sort of keep them away for at least a few turns, I think. See, do I really want these yet? Not really. I don't have the money to get those research techs up and going yet. So let's just end the turn. 231, here we go. Is it just me or is the volume low? It might just be you. Overall, my volume can be a bit low. If I'm far away, it can be quite quiet. I'll move a little bit closer to my microphone if that helps. But I haven't really changed my volume settings for a while, so it may very well just be you. And you can see we are losing some settlements here. This is why we go for the sack and occupy. And Golden Order. Yeah, Gelt's gonna be done for next turn. Very, very nice. So without Gelt, we have Rakarth, the Vampire Counts, the Dwarves, maybe the Bretonnians, maybe the Wood Elves. Overall, the threats are starting to get minimized. It's strange that Rakarth has been so passive as of late. I think it's because he's at war with Chaos, so he's sort of distracted, but when Rakarth turns his eye back on me, it's gonna be a little bit sketchy. I actually don't need the leadership, so I'm just not gonna go for that. Maybe that's a dumb decision for how much money I have, but you never know when you're gonna need an extra 1,500. All right, Gelt, congratulations, you're done. Now, I will occupy it. Marienburg will be slightly undefended here. We do have the garrison upgrade, so I don't think any AI army is going to take it immediately. Over here, we have the Dowie. And I don't have a caster. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Ooh, that's rough. Sigvald's on the horizon. This army might have a rough time. Let's just play it out. I do have an insanely huge garrison, so that's actually fine. And hey, look, we have a pyromancer here too. It is going to be a little bit sketchy, considering that I don't have a ton of handgunners, but I think I can win this. You already missed Gelt. It's all right. Maybe he'll show up in the next campaign. Ugh. All right, so it's an elite dwarf stack. We are really low on the armor piercing, but we have 2 warrior priests, and we have a Hellstorm rocket battery. I think we might be okay here. It's going to be a little bit sketchy though, especially when it comes to my ranged firepower. It's just so weak right now. Gotta go. Not sure if there's another mod online, but fingers crossed. All right, peace out, Phil. Hope you have a happy new year. No way to force a confederation in a peace deal. I don't think so. I think because it reworked the empire mechanics, I think that's a non-option now, sadly. All right. So the plan, get my crossbows in the back. They are one of my only sources of armor piercing damage here. And then my outriders are just gonna run some distraction in the distance. So Hellstorm rocket battery is actually gonna hold fire now. So I want to group up as many guys as I possibly can on my hero blob. That's going to be sort of the goal here. Most of these range units I can sort of start splitting up too, just to get a little bit of better coverage. And then we'll see how it all plays out. The artillery shouldn't be much of an issue due to my cavalry. So I'll just sort of group them up there. And I think it's time we engage onto these slayers. All right, Hellstorm rocket battery can start hitting up those iron breakers now. And we'll see how this goes. All right, giant slayers are going to be a little bit scary too, but thankfully my army's actually fairly well built to deal with them. So they're actually a little bit less of a problem. And actually with this blob forming over here, I think I'm in a pretty good position now. Yeah, and those slayers went down real nice and fast. My cavalry's taking an absolute beating, but that's okay. Will he survive? I think I will. I think this is a pretty good position here. Let's continue with the debuffs though. Let's see, do I have anything else? These guys don't have abilities, right? They don't. Unfortunate. But it looks like my cavalry did really well in the back end. These guys can hit up the Thunderers. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, let's start scooting up with these guys. Specifically, yeah, these crossbowmen and Free Company militia. They're actually, you know what? They can fire into this blob too. That's actually just fine for them. And I think I should be able to push the AI into army losses soon, actually. They don't really have too much left at this point, and my army is quite large. And hopefully another Burning Head manages to catch him out. Fingers crossed. Nice Trollhammer torpedoes are going down. The cavalry slamming on in. No more artillery for the dwarves. It's looking good. All right, there we go. Army losses. Sweet. Very, very good. All right, so that was actually pretty straightforward. Very nice. Let's see. I will hunt down the rest of the Iron Breakers just because this army isn't getting finished off. What about Chaos? Chaos is pretty weak right now. They're down to about 2 armies left. I'm not very worried about them. All right, Iron Breakers. I don't need to chase them down to entirety. Will you face the Never Chosen? I have not actually seen him in this entire campaign. We've seen Kolek. We've seen Sigvald, but Archaon has remained elusive. We might not even run into him if he runs out of armies before he comes back. Which is a very sad fate for chaos. But one that is in my favor for sure. All right, so there we go. Very, very nice. Loads of money, loads of gold from ransoming the captives. Sweet. Now I could run them down, but that's actually not super important for me right now. Instead, I would really like to just defend Altdorf and clean up the rest of everything that we're seeing over here. Let's see, I could even hunt down Rakarth. He's just barely out of range though. And we're just sort of waiting for the Bright Wizard to come back. Alright, Franz, he's gonna... I could retake this, but that's not really necessary. We're gonna continue sort of heading down southwards. Alright. No puzzles over here. And how are the Bretonnians looking? Wow, Bretonnia is devastated. Jeez. So this entire coastline is probably more or less donezo for them. We have this dwarf army. Thankfully, they're quite passive. And the lizard men, I'll sort of need a way to deal with them eventually. But it seems like they're fairly passive too. They're just sort of heading down towards Franz. Alright. So nice. Some more upgrades on Sartosa. And I think we can go ahead and end the turn. So there we go. I think we're in a really nice position for the campaign right now. I will end off the stream here. Medanderer, thank you so much with the $10. Happy New Year to you too. As for a lot of people, New Year celebrations are going to start kicking in. So I'll sort of send you guys off to do that. But before we close it out entirely, I'm going to go ahead and see if there's someone to raid. Let's see. It looks like Dame Offensive is streaming again. Let's see. Yeah, sure. Why not? Actually, we'll double check Twitch real quick to see if we have anyone there. Let's see. Is anyone I recognize on Twitch? Nah. All right. So we'll send you guys over to Dame Offensive, same as usual. And you guys can, you know, can send your Happy New Year's in chat to Dame. Let's see. Where is that link? Copy video URL. There you go. You guys can all pour in there. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much to the members that have the Deck Gunners and Fleet Admirals specifically for their shout out tier. Rogelio Alonso, McWriterface, Vaughn7, Isolated Sushi, Medanderer, and Ed Tinley. Thank you so much, guys. And I hope to see you guys in Dame Offensive's chat. I'll go ahead and type Happy New Year in there right now. Happy New Year. Just sending a couple people over. All right, so you guys better actually hop over or else I'm gonna look real weird. So there you go. Peace out. Oh, and it's a fundraiser event too. That's really nice. You guys should definitely check it out then. All right, bye-bye.